Hello, everybody. I am your host, Exhibit A. We're here to wish you a very happy Menhera Monday. Hope you're all doing well. Hello, Angel Dust. Hello, Zana. Hello, Salad. Hello, Toy. We're all here today, and we're ready to start a brand new week, and we're going to start it properly. Because a week started without Menhera Monday is a week not worth having. You might as well just delete the week from existence. I do that sometimes if my week isn't good. I just choose not to have that week. I just simply choose to not do that week. A lot of people don't do that. A lot of people are like, oh, this is gonna be such a horrible week. I hate this week. It's going terribly. It's like, just don't do it then. Do the next week instead. Big brain. Yeah, anyway. I think I might be a bit too loud. Am I too loud? I'm not sure. I think last stream I was a bit loud, so that's why. Yeah, it's peaking every now and then. We're going to adjust that a little bit. No, we're going to adjust that. So we're going to put that to 16, 15. Yeah, I hope. Okay, that should be better. I hope so. I hope so. Alright, so Angel Dust is saying nothing has restored it yet. There's quite a few people who seem to have that feeling right now. I've seen some of the people in the Discord being like, yeah, I can't think of anything. There's been a couple of people who've said that. Which, you know, is very... I understand that sentiment. But, you know, that's why we're doing this week. That's why this is the topic. Toy suggested this topic. It was in her list of things that she sent to me. And I picked it because I thought it would be very fitting, because I think that this is... I think I could use a little bit of restoring faith in humanity. I think I could use that. I think I would benefit from that. And I think a lot of you guys would benefit from that too, because it's very easy to get very hopeless and to think that the world is doomed and then everything is horrible. But maybe we can prove that there's something worth believing in. Let's hope. Let's hope that we can restore our faith in humanity. So a lot of you are here, you can't think of anything? Well, let's hope that reading other people's stories will help restore your faith in humanity. Let's hope that we can bring things back and make life good again. And restore our faith in humanity. And believe in a better future. Yeah, teacher, you came in late. Yeah, I mean, I told everyone I'd be late. And I don't start the stream immediately, or I don't, like, start doing stuff right after the stream starts. I leave it on the waiting screen because I want to, like, let people filter in to get more, like, viewers as I start it. Because then, otherwise, people will miss the start. A lot of people are going to miss the start either way, but I prefer as many people to be here as possible. I hope all of them aren't. I don't have faith. There's going to be a few of them, probably. We'll see. Alright, so this song's about to end, so I'm gonna bring up some new musics. I'm glad that we restored your faith in humanity, Toy. I'm very glad. Hello, Daniel. Welcome. Okie. I'm gonna do Animal Crossing again. Alright, so where's the volume? So I also believe in a better future. Exhibit has his army of exhibitionists. That is true. I believe that the exhibitionists can change the world. It's gotta happen. Alright. Desktop audio's on. Alright, let's test this out. Alright, music started. Does that music sound fine? Let me know if I should bring it up or not. Dear Christ, the Exhibitionists? Yeah, the Exhibitionists. What did I just join to? The Exhibitionists is my name for my fans, because they were fans of Exhibit A, Exhibitionists. That's kind of half a joke. I don't really think of that as, like, the name for my fans, but I bring it up it's like the joke name for my fans. It's like the... It's like, it's the joke one. It's not the serious one. Can't hear it? Okay, well, let's see. Turn it up a bit. Turn it up a bit. Okay, is that... that seems kind of... Yeah, what about now? Is that fine? It seems... I'll call us Yandirlies. I feel like Exhibitionist is a bit funnier, but yeah, Yandirlies is a more, like, normal-sounding one. Now could hear it? Good, good, good. We're ready to begin. Let's see if we can restore our faith in humanity. Let us see. Let us see. I could definitely use restoring my faith in humanity. I feel like... I've been a bit nihilistic recently. I've been a bit down about the world. Let's see if we can change that. What restored your faith in humanity? First response. Kanye's recent albums. Not on most streaming platforms. Especially his new one, World War III. Look up some of the track names, but be warned. Okay. This one was written by Thomas. I've not listened to... I don't think... I mean, I've probably heard Kanye's stuff before without knowing it's him. I've never really intentionally listened to Kanye stuff. I just know that in recent times he's been a little bit crazy. So I don't know what's I don't know if there's still anything good that can come from him. Apparently there is. I don't know what Thomas is on about here. I guess his recent album is good or something. I don't know how that'd restore your faith in humanity because, like, it's music from a really crazy guy who said some really crazy things. I don't know if that would really do a lot for me. But I don't know, maybe I would understand if I listened to it. If any of you know what he's talking about, feel free to fill me in. Not the Kanye, yeah. Yeah, I don't see how that would restore your faith in humanity. Kanye's like, of all the people that you're saying restore your faith in humanity, what is Thomas on about? I don't know what is... Maybe it's a freaking, maybe he's joking. I don't know. Sorry about the Discord pings, guys. I leave the Discord sounds on when I'm streaming, just in case someone tries to contact me while I'm streaming. To, like, warn me that I'm, like, accidentally showing personal information or something, because that's happened before, and then I don't see it until the stream is over, because I have the sounds off. So I'm just gonna... People don't message me that often while I'm streaming, so it's usually not a problem. But just excuse me if that happens a bit. Is that they are not on platforms that makes them happy. Got deplatformed. Oh, okay, that's what Tom... Really? Is that what Thomas is saying? Okay. Because I'm not sure I understood what he was saying. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Kanye's recent albums not on most streaming platforms. I feel like he left out a lot of, like, grammar there, so it's hard to understand what he meant. He said Kanye's recent albums not on most streaming platforms. Okay, what he means is that it restores his faith in humanity that those albums are not on most platforms. Okay. That's more reason... Yeah, that makes sense. I was a bit confused for a second. I just thought maybe he just thought the music was really nice, even though Kanye is a crazy guy. I don't know. Or maybe Thomas was being a joker. But no, he's saying he's glad that it's off. It's been taken away. Maybe we should look at some of the track names. He says, is his album, World War III. Track names. I want to look at those. I wonder if I can even say them. Let's look. Let's take a look. Ooh. Kanye West's new album, World War III, song names include... The Guy with the Mustache, Diddy and Cosby. Jeez, okay. Alright, he has a song named Cosby. He has a song... Oh my god, he has a song named... You know, the thing that the... Didn't I agree not to self-censor myself? What am I doing? I shouldn't be dancing around. He has a freaking... I'm not supposed to censor myself. I'm just gonna say things. He has a freaking track called Heil Hitler, and he has another one with Hitler in it. Oh my god, that's terrible. Oh, what the fuck are some of okay, whatever. Yeah, okay. Well, that's fun. That's fun. Yeah, I don't know. I did this stream to restore my faith in humanity. It's not working so far. Let's move on. Alright. Let's move on. What's the next one? What's the next one? What restored your faith in humanity? Making a lot of friends that accept me for who I am after years of being friendless. Or if I had friends, I'd be forced to hide my true ADHD, autistic, and hyperactive self. This one was written by Riku. And yeah, that makes sense. Seems like they had to hide their autistic side and their, like, less than usual side. Sort of like, what other people consider to be not normal. But then they made friends who did accept them for who they were and that they could be themselves around, and that's very valuable. It's very valuable. Clipped and posted to Twitter. Hey, I'm just repeating what I was reading, okay? Don't cancel me for reading out track names. I guess you could clip it out of context and just make it sound like I'm saying those things. Do you mean he has a track called My Heart Goes Out to You? Yeah. Yeah, the salute, yeah. Yeah. He's just, whatever, you know, it's like, he's such a goofy goober, guys. He's such a goofy goober. Man, isn't it so, like... Man was feeling goofy that day. Yeah. Well, anyway, let's, yeah, I mean, my like, autism and stuff was more obvious when I was younger, but as I've gotten older, I've become... It's not just me masking it, that's part of it, but also I've just, like, learned how to communicate, and so it's less apparent. So I don't struggle with that as much nowadays. But, you know, I like having people I can be myself around, so I definitely see the value in something like that. I'm exhibiting driving. Hello, Peachy, welcome. You just missed the part where I talked about Kanye and his song names. And I possibly got myself in trouble with YouTube by mentioning the track names, because some of them were a bit spicy. That's the thing. So, like, I don't want, if I can, I don't want to censor myself on streams and, like, avoid saying words, because I see other people do that and it's so obnoxious. I see people saying stuff like, oh, unalive, oh, I fucking grape. Like, it's so, like, I hate it. I hate it so much. And I know why they're doing it. I know that they're doing it to, like, not get in trouble and to not lose monetization, but I still hate it. So I'm gonna try to avoid doing that as long as I can. Now, if my channel actually gets in trouble and it's in danger of being taken down, I might give in and start doing it. But if it, like, loses me money and stuff, I might still put up with it, because I just really... It's so stupid, I hate it. And I'm gonna... Even if it causes problems for me, I'm gonna, like, try not to self-censor as long as I can, without it, like, destroying my channel. Yeah, grape. It's like, they're telling such a serious story, right? They're like, they're like, you come across, like, a TikTok or a YouTube short, and they're, like, talking about this serious story of, like, a bad thing that happened to someone. And then they use a word like unalive, or a word like grape, and, like, suddenly it just sounds stupid. It's a serious story, and you're supposed to take it seriously. But how are you supposed to take it seriously when they're saying all these goofy words? It's like, it feels disrespectful. Yeah, Peachy just got her license, and she's doing her first exhibit and drive. Hell yeah. Don't worry, Peachy, you don't need to Don't need a message. Well, you'll be with us. We'll know that you're here. Always listening. Yeah, she's always listening. She's also listening even when I'm not streaming, which, you know, is, not great, but the police can't catch her, so it doesn't matter. Oh, Razrao did a cool thing where she said a few dangerous words at the end of the video, and she said that they would be bleeped if it got her in trouble. None of them were. There was one on censorship in Hollywood. I hear drinking is fun while you drive, I mean. That's true! That's true safety. Holy crap. Yeah, you guys should try that. It's really, really cool. Listen, I know there's a lot of bad stuff people say about drunk driving, but, like, it's the drunk crashers that ruin it for the rest of us, okay? There's a difference between drunk driving and drunk crashing. There's plenty of people who drink and drive and they don't crash. It's those drunk crashers that ruin it. Just don't crash. Honestly, exhibit the censorship can be nice for those of us with trauma triggers. Yeah, but I think the issue though is that may be the case now, but eventually the usage of those censorship words like unalive and grape and whatever those will just become the new words past a certain point. Because you'll be used to hearing that as the description for that thing. And so maybe that's the case right now, but someday it will stop working. Because that's a lot of words that we actually use now in our real life speaking are words that used to be like slang words, or like words that used to be words that we would use as a replacement for something else, but then they just became actual words. So when you use a word enough, people will start to forget where the word comes from. So as funny as it sounds, someday, I would hate for this to happen, it would be so stupid and goofy, but someday the word unalive might become a word that people use in real life. And it might become a word that they actually have in dictionaries. I would hate to see that, because that would be so cringe. But it might happen, because if you look at how words have formed over history, stuff like that does happen. Yeah. Like, I think it's fair to, like, you know, trauma triggers are... I think trigger warnings are a good thing, so that people have the choice to avoid looking at stuff that might trigger them or be bad for them. But I just don't... You know, I think that's good. I don't think just using words like grape and unalive is good, because I feel like that actually makes certain situations seem less serious. Because it's... These words don't sound... They don't sound like normal. They're like very... Like, I'm sure you guys see what I mean when I say they sound like very goofy. It takes away from the seriousness. I know I went to a Kurt Cobain-like exhibit and they replaced the word sewer slide. Oh yeah, you don't want the message to get flagged. Replaced it with unalived. Ah. Yeah, okay, so see, it's already starting to happen in real life, right? It's starting to catch on because the word's being used so much that people are just thinking of it as an actual word. Because, you know, every word that we use had to come about some kind of way. Every word that exists that we use is a word that came about because people just kind of started using it. And then they used it enough that society as a whole eventually just recognized it as like a real word. So frickin' I'm not looking forward to unalive being like an actual word in the dictionary. You know, when that happens, it's not going to be a censorship word anymore. And then they might start to ban the word unalive. And then people need to come up with a new word in order to keep getting around the censorship. And so that just shows how redundant it is. When they implement policies that require you to stop saying certain words, all they're really doing is forcing people to come up with new words to describe the exact same thing. It doesn't actually stop people talking about the subject matter. There's no benefit to it. They're not actually making sites safer or accomplishing their goal. They're just forcing people to create new words, and those words will someday become the normal words, quite possibly. And so it's just annoying, and it's very obnoxious, so I dislike it, and so I'm not gonna use stuff like that if I can help it. I might resort to that if my channel gets in trouble, or if I am someday earning more money from all this and I realize, okay, I kinda need the money, so I'll give in. But what I'm saying is, as long as I can, I'm going to avoid giving into the censorship, just because I dislike it. I just don't like it. And I wish that it wasn't everywhere. It's so annoying. Everything I see, it's like people are using these really strange words, and it's like... it's so bad. So I want to stand against it as long as I can. It's pointless, it won't really make a difference. I just want to do it that way. Alright, I'm taking my vitamin D pill, hang on. Gotta get it though, they get ad revenue and they don't want other ads next to Suicide. Yeah, I mean, I understand why. I do. I just dislike it, so I'm gonna try not to do it. That's all. Like, I don't think you're a bad person for doing it. Like, I understand. It's just dumb. So, I'm gonna exercise my own freedom of choice while I can. Right. Let's read the next response. What restored your faith in humanity? Also, hi, Anya. Forgot to say hi. Hello, Kit Kat. You know, I never actually know whether to call you Anya or Kit Kat whenever you're in my stream. Because on Discord, your name's Kit Kat, and I call you Kit Kat whenever I'm on Discord with you. But I called you Anya from the beginning, because you started out in my stream chat before you joined the Discord. So now I'm just calling you both, and I don't even know which one to call you. So I don't know. But yeah, let me know which one you prefer, and maybe I'll stick to that. Alright, next response. What? Okay, wait. Yeah, sorry, wait, I didn't read this one. Okay. What restored your faith in humanity? So through my life, from the age of 6, I was judged because I'm autistic and have a physical disability. I've always feared what people thought of me because of a judgment I had through a swimming teacher, and a whole school of students except one student. Now as I grew up, I have needed an aid to get me around, and I honestly hate using it due to the amount of stares I get. But, as I just said, there was this one student. I met the student again 3 years and a half later, after I left that school at a Haven Park. He remembered me, and he showed me no judgment. He accepted me for my differences, just like he always have, or just like I always have. He showed me there are kind people out in this world. We exchanged numbers that day and still keep in contact. He was my first friend and is someone I am so grateful to, for everyone has shown me. I feel like some of this I'm not sure how to read. Everyone has shown me about what a kind person could be like. Right, okay. Yeah, I noticed I get a lot of responses about like people's experiences with like autism and stuff, and you know, makes sense. I think pretty much all of my fans have autism. That's something we've established. I just make the kind of content that appeals to autistic people, which makes sense because I'm autistic. We're all kind of in the same boat here. I don't think there's a single person who watches me who doesn't have it. But yeah, I haven't had it as bad as a lot of people, but like I relate on some level. So we've got. And it sucks because you mentioned judgment from a swimming teacher. That's the other thing. It's not just judgment from like other students and other like children. Because some, you know, you can forgive children a bit more because they don't know any better, and you can just say, okay, like sure they're assholes, but It might just come from the fact that they are underdeveloped and don't know better, and you can make all sorts of excuses. But a lot of bad things also come from adults. And adults are supposed to know better. We're supposed to be able to trust them. But a lot of the time we can't, because they actually don't know what it's like to be an autistic person, and they'll treat you badly or demand, you know, or shame you for being different, because they have this expectation of the way children are supposed to be. Whenever you don't fit that mold, they have a problem with it. And it's really bad when that comes from an adult, because you're supposed to be able to trust them. But that's just it. There's a lot of people in positions of power, like teachers and, you know, child care workers, all these whatever, even parents. Parents a lot of the time. Who don't understand children who are neurodivergent or different in some kind of way. Or even who just don't understand children in general. Because, like, even normal children can be mistreated by adults who don't understand the way children are. And that really sucks, because you expect them to know better, but they don't. There's a lot of adults who just demand that children be a certain way, and they get mad when you're not that way. I do find it especially frustrating because I see it a lot. Not just in regards to, like, autism and stuff, but especially with autism at least. But it's not just that, it's just children in general. Adults kind of get mad at children for being the way that children normally are. They get mad at children for following their nature. So, like, a child will, like, misbehave in some way, and then they'll just get, like, really mad at that kid, right? But the thing you have to understand is that a lot of the things that children do, it's like, it's normal. They're supposed to do that. You're supposed to try and correct that and, like, teach them to be better. But what you shouldn't be doing is, like, throwing your anger at them as if it's actually their fault. Children do bad things, but it's not their fault. They don't know better. They're underdeveloped. You shouldn't actually blame them. You should help them learn from it and get better and teach them not to do it. But you shouldn't have this attitude of, okay, this child is just they deserve to be punished. They don't deserve to be punished. Maybe you should punish them so that they can learn not to do it, but they don't deserve it, quote unquote. It's more like that's a necessary evil so that they can learn. But some people genuinely take joy in punishing children. They're like, you know, have you ever seen those, like, those YouTube videos where someone is, like, smashing a child's, like, Xbox, like the parent is, like, smashing the Xbox with a baseball bat, and the child is watching it, like, crying and screaming. And then the caption of the video says, oh, I'm destroying his Xbox because he misbehaved and did this thing. And the comments are filled with people being like, yeah, teach him a lesson, give him what he deserves. This is what you should do to children who misbehave. And all I can think is these people don't realize if your child has done something bad, if your child is, like, acting really horribly and disrespectfully, that's actually your fault. You don't get to say, you know, it's a little weird if you're the parent and your child misbehaves and then you do, like, you punish them and then you take joy in that punishment. Because, like, the fact that they did that bad thing is your fault. You should be, you know, it's like you're, how would I put this? How the child turns out is a result of how you're raising them. But a lot of people just don't seem to recognize that. They're like, oh, the child did this thing, I'm going to destroy their Xbox and, like, intentionally make them hurt as much as possible for my gratification. Because I am just really mad at this kid. And that just doesn't make sense, because it's your fault that your kid's doing that. Because you are the one in control of how they are raised. Now, sometimes they might act a bit unpredictably, maybe they'll have, like, a bad influence from somewhere. But a lot of these things that I see where the child acts, like, horribly disrespectfully and they, like, yell at their parents or, like, start smashing things, where the child does things like that, clearly that comes from raising them badly. right? So, in the context of those kinds of videos, it is the parent's fault. It's like, your child does not become that horrible and that toxic unless you raise them badly. And so for you to look at that and go like, okay, this child now deserves to have all their shit, like, horribly destroyed in, like, a way that makes them, like, hurt as much as possible emotionally, and for you to just take pleasure in that, that's really fucked up, because you're blaming, you're making your child suffer for your mistake. And so I'm not saying that you shouldn't punish the child, you should, but you need to do it in a way that's proportional. And you shouldn't just try to make it hurt as much as possible. You should do it in a way where they very clearly know what they did wrong and how to avoid it in the future, not like destroying their stuff and like forcing them to watch, you know, that's excessive. You don't do that unless you actually enjoy making the child suffer. Right? If you wanted to punish them, you would just say, okay, you can't use the Xbox. You wouldn't destroy it in front of them while they watch. You only do that if you genuinely gain pleasure from watching the child suffer. That's not something you do for the child's own good. You do that for your benefit. And it's completely selfish. So that's always been a pet peeve of mine whenever I see videos like that, because all the comments are agreeing with it. They're like, oh man, this kid is getting what he deserves. Good, this is discipline. It's like, bro, the kid was just... Okay, the kid acted horribly, yes, but he acted that way because the parents raised him badly. It literally was not the kid's fault. Alright, the kid was the victim of bad parenting. But no one treats it that way. They act like the kid is an autonomous being who actually deserves to suffer for following their natural instincts, for following their nature. And I think that's completely absurd, but it's absurd how much we've normalized this idea that actually children deserve to suffer. And how we basically just kind of... You know, we kind of just treat them like they're nothing. I think a lot of people genuinely view children as, like, lesser, like they deserve less rights in like a subconscious kind of way. Like, they'll never admit to viewing it that way, but I think they do view it that way. They view them as, like, lesser beings. And, like, I'm not super fond of children. I don't really want to take care of them, you know? Like, I'm not someone who really... You know? But I think objectively, I think they deserve to be treated well and they deserve good things. I would never take my anger out on them, because I know better. You know, I might get pissed off because a child is being annoying, but I'm not going to take that out on him. I'm not going to, like, freaking punch him or something, you know? So that's what I think. It's always been a peeve of mine seeing stuff like that. Just thought I'd put that out there. I haven't read chat in a while. Let's catch up. Speaking of ketchup, I ate ketchup today. Very tasty. I ate it with McDonald's. Alright. Oh, fuck. There's been a lot of messages. I'm a 12-year-old child and easily influenced. I stole my parents' car keys and a shot of Jaeger. I'm gonna go drive because the exhibit says it was cool. Yeah, go do that. Hell yeah. That's awesome. Gay is a good example of semantic drift. Yeah, see, the word gay was just like... the word gay used to not mean gay. But now it does. And it was... The word gay meant, like, happy. And the word queer was just another word for, like, weird or, like, odd and unusual. And obviously those words now mean completely different things and, like, how they're normally used, so... Alright. Adults are just old children? Yeah, pretty much. In some ways. A lot of, yeah. I think to some degree adults don't really know better either. In certain cases. I mean, I think to some degree everyone is like a victim of circumstances, and a lot of the times people just don't know better, and that's why they do bad things. A lot of the time we attribute things to malice that we should actually be attributing to ignorance. A lot of times people do bad things, not because they actually have bad intentions or because they're malicious, but because they don't know any better. And I think it would help if we recognize that more often. Which is not to say that we shouldn't ever hold people accountable, because I think the world would fall apart if we didn't do that. But I think it would help if we tried to understand that a lot of bad things do come from ignorance, and tackle it that way and try to teach people better, instead of focusing on, okay, how can we punish people as harshly as possible for being not perfect, or for doing a bad thing. It's complicated though, because I can definitely think of people who, like, are malicious. It's kind of hard to tell the difference sometimes. Data uses a walker. Yeah, a lot of people do tend to stare at people who use stuff like that. Hang on. I feel like those types of reactions from children tend to come from families in which they don't promote open communication. The poor children have never been spoken to properly or respectfully. And then the parents are surprised it gets reciprocated. Exactly, that's actually very true. A lot of the time, adults will be really harsh to kids, and then they demand that the kids are nice to them back. And they tell them, you know, oh, don't use that tone with me, how dare you, blah blah blah. Meanwhile, they're always very harsh with their kids. And so it's a big double standard. You're like, oh, you have to treat me with respect, but I'm allowed to be pretty horrible with how I speak to you. But yeah, and then, kids will copy the parents. They'll start acting, they'll act out, be kind of bad and mean, because that's how the parents have been. Again, that's another thing. It's another situation of the parents blaming the child for their own mistake. Because if your child is acting toxic like that, there's a big chance that it's because you act that way. But then people lack the self-awareness to even see that, and they think the child is just evil or something. No, it came from you. You taught that little creature how to be. That's on you. But the child gets punished for it. The adult never does, because the adult is in power. And that's how the world works. And that sucks. I didn't exhibit in Crash. Hell yeah! Good job, Peachy. I hate kids, but I don't think they should suffer. Yeah, I mean, I think it's fine to, like, not like kids, just don't make it their problem, you know? I'm not really fond of kids, but I'm glad that society has so many people who do like them, because they deserve to grow up in a world where they are loved and treated well. And so I'm glad other people are willing to do that so that I don't have to. Because then I don't need to get involved. I don't need to be the one to raise these creatures. There's other people around who will help them. And that person doesn't have to be me. I was 5 or 6 when the librarian wouldn't give me the book because I couldn't pronounce bird. I think I remember you mentioning that. Kind of petty. Too many teen parents. Yeah, and that's the result of, like, bad sex education. Because a lot of people aren't taught that they're supposed to use condoms, supposed to use pill, supposed to use whatever method they think will work. And it goes badly. And that's the problem with just insisting on doing abstinence. They're like, okay, well, no, we can stop the teen pregnancies if we just make sure they don't fuck in the first place. We just teach them not to do it. Okay, but the issue is, they go all in on that method, and then they don't bother to actually teach them about contraception. So they're like, no, we won't teach them about contraception, because we don't want them to learn about that stuff at all. And then what happens is, they end up doing it anyway, but they don't know about contraception, because you refused to teach them that because you didn't want them to even know that sex exists. And so now they're getting people pregnant, and now they're ruining their lives over it. I think people need to realize, yeah, maybe in an ideal world, you would just not tell children about By children, I mean like teenagers, in this case. Like, not tell teenagers about this stuff, that this stuff exists, and then at 18 they will learn that sex exists, and then they can learn all this. It's like, no. That's not... That can't work. Unfortunately, they are going to discover this stuff, whether you teach it to them or not. But if you don't teach it to them, they will have an incomplete education of it, and they will end up doing it, and then they'll do it wrong, and then there will be lifelong consequences for it. So, that is something you need to... We need schools to teach this stuff a bit better, because it's not going very well. And people end up just... You know, they're taught abstinence, like, oh no, don't do it. Just don't do it. Okay, what if they do? They need to know how to not get someone pregnant if they do. But people are stubborn and they refuse to talk about it. They refuse to teach them it. Because they're just like, no, we don't want them to do it. Then if they do... I think it's better to teach them how to avoid having those lifelong consequences than to just hope and pray that they never do it. It's not even lack of sex ed. Plenty of benefit systems have an automatic preference, and rightfully so, for child-rearing families. There are people having kids not for the sake of having a child, but for an income that allows them to live how they want, whilst often neglecting the child's needs. Yeah, I have learnt about that. That you do get much better benefit systems in, like, the UK and stuff. If you have children, I have heard about that. And I've heard mention of the fact that maybe some people actually become more relaxed about having children because of that. But I didn't know that people actually have children intentionally so that they can have better benefits. Is that actually the case? Because that's really interesting. They have kids just for the benefits that come with it. Really, that's crazy. Shockingly common how many people have kids without wanting kids just for the benefits that come with it. That's really fucked up. I know of multiple people that have gotten pregnant just to get on benefits. Holy crap. That's really bad. You should never have kids unless you actually want them and are willing to show them love and take care of them. If you're having kids just for, like, another reason, that kid is going to grow up in an environment where they're not wanted. And that's where a lot of, like, stories of abusive families and negligent families come from. Even from people that I've known personally, with parents like that. And that's really bad. Yeah, it's a puzzling thing though, isn't it? Because, like, you should provide more benefits from the government for people who have kids, because they need it more. And if you don't provide it to them, then those kids are going to suffer and be on the street and all that. But then you also got to be careful, on the other hand, not to make people intentionally get kids just for the benefits that come with it. That's fucked up. I didn't know that people actually thought that way. Because, like, I would never do that. I would hate... I don't consider that worthwhile at all. Having a kid just for the benefits that come with... I feel like that's like a big... I feel like there's nothing you could give me that would make it worthwhile to just have a kid for the sake of it. You know? Like, if you paid me $1 million to have a kid, I wouldn't do it. I would only do it if I want to have a kid. If I actually wanted to already. So, I can't imagine thinking that way. That's totally foreign to me. But it's crazy that some people actually do think about it that way. I guess it makes sense, knowing what I'm still surprised by it, though, to be honest. Kids are like tattoos? Yeah, they're permanent. I'd rather be poor without a kid than poor with a kid. Yeah, fair. Same. I'd rather be poor without a kid than rich with a kid, though. So. I think you'd be hard-pressed to actually make a profit like that. Mostly sounds like the welfare queen myth. So I probably wouldn't know enough to know, like, how successful it actually is when people do that. But I think... I do know that you get much better benefits. And that it becomes more livable. Yeah. But there's a lot that I still don't know, so... A lot of problems with the world. Yeah, this stream was supposed to restore our faith in humanity. We're talking about all sorts of problems in the world now. Okay. Although... Yeah, but Zana's recent thing about having a friend that accepts them for their real self. We've got a couple of those already. Of this kind of story, being accepted for their autism. What did you know? I think the story that we should take away from this, if we really are to restore our faith in humanity, is that even though there's a lot of people who will mistreat you for being different, and a lot of people who will mistreat children and be bad and abuse their power, there's always going to be people who will see past that. Because not all humans are the same. There's a lot of nice people in the world who genuinely want to love other people and show them a better way of life, and who will see you for who you really are and will not judge you. They'll judge you for who you are, not what you are. They will judge you by how good of a person you are, and not by factors that are out of your control. Because truthfully, no one should be punished for factors that are out of their control, but we live in a world that normalizes that. We have good benefits for parents in Sweden, yet a far lower birth rate than many places that do not. Yeah, I think places like Sweden might be a good reference for the rest of the world to copy, because I've heard good things about places like Sweden and Amsterdam that have welfare systems, strong welfare systems, and the country is has good standards and is functioning very well, and doesn't have problems that like the UK has, for example. And so a lot of people in America say, you know, we don't want welfare, we don't want anything that will make, we don't want any of that stuff because it's going to encourage people to be lazy and it's going to ruin society. But there's countries in the world now that have done that stuff and it's worked well for them. So clearly that can't be the case. You just need to emulate the right countries. But also I won't claim to fully understand it, because maybe there's reasons why that would be more difficult in America. I won't claim to know that. But there's countries that have done it, and it's worked. So clearly it's possible. Moving to Sweden then? That might not be such a bad idea. Might not be so bad. Oh, does Sweden have a bad, Nazi party? Jeez. It's a great place, but the weather is shit. You can UK's weather is shit too, and it's not such a nice place, so I feel like I've said a lot of naughty words in this stream, a lot of no-no words. I hope that I don't get in trouble for it. We'll see. So far, I haven't gotten in any trouble on this channel for, saying stuff. So far I'm in the clear. I just hope that doesn't change somewhere down the line, or during this stream. Yeah. But yeah, with all the problems of the world, there's always people out there who will accept you. And that's the part you need to remember. The world's a tough place, but there is people out there who will accept you. It's not everyone. There are some people who will see you for who you really are, and will value the kind of person you are, how good you are, not arbitrary factors that you can't control, like the way you speak, the way you move, the little tics you have. And I think that's important to remember, because that gives us a lot of hope. And then we feel like we can keep going, if we know that there's people out there who are like that. There's a lot of bad people, but there's good people. And those are the people you should aim to associate with and become close with. Not the toxic people who will make you feel bad about who you are. Peachy and Exhibit No Kids Club. Heck yeah. No Kids Club. No Kids Club. It's like the, should I make that joke? No. I don't think I should say that. Anyway. As long as no one snitches, we're good. Snitches about what? It's not super bad, but it was founded by people marching in the street doing the "My heart goes out to you" salute. And shit, with full regalia. Damn, okay. I feel like that's in every country, though. I feel like there's a bit of that in every country, but maybe there's more of it in some countries than others. I know what you were thinking. Do you really? I've had a very specific joke in mind. Snitches about your language. Oh, that's what you meant. Fair. I knew a girl that went all in. She was on a podcast where a famous person called in and complained that she could hang her portrait of the Fuhrer so that it could be seen from the street. That was wild. Exhibit. Sly face. Yeah, I don't, Cool Kids Club? That's not the joke I was gonna make. I was gonna make a different joke. Alright, anyway. She could hang, yeah. She couldn't. Okay, I was trying to understand what you were saying. That makes more sense. She complained that she couldn't hang her portrait in the street. Yeah, well, people like to show off their memorabilia, even if it's strange memorabilia. Alright, let's move along. So, next response. Finally moving on. I'm stretching it out because we only have 11 in total. I think I'm doing a good job so far, though. Exhibit was 100% gonna make that joke when I was embarrassed. It was not that joke. It was not. The joke that I was gonna make, I think, was a bit worse than that. Or was it? It actually depends on your perspective. I don't know if it's worse. It depends on who you ask. She did not buy that, ironically. No, I figured. I know people get stuff like that because they actually value that. People are... Yeah, there's something. But we're not going to focus on the negatives. Alright. Alright, what restored your faith in humanity? People knowing common sense. I'm not going into a lot of details unless someone wants to ask. It will have to be in a DM, not in the open. This one was written by Tess. So I suppose you guys can ask Tess if you want to know what she meant, because she seems to be not revealing it publicly. But, you know, do so at your own peril, because she's probably keeping it a secret for a reason. So maybe... I get the feeling that it's a controversial opinion, so do so at your own peril. It's up to you guys. You want to ask her about it. I don't claim to know what it is, but I have my theories. Alright. Next response. What restored your faith in humanity? Nothing. I hope you aren't one of those types who spouts nonsense about hope for humanity. And the name they put is Zephiel, King of Burn, and then in brackets, Pop-Tart Snake. Okay, so is this answer like quoting a certain character? Is Zephiel, King of Burn, like a character that he's like pretending to be? Or is this just actually his response? I'm curious. Zephiel, King of Burn. Okay, that's a character from Fire Emblem. Let's see. I'm gonna take a look at the wiki. Zephyr wants to be the future king of Burn. His parents' marriage was arranged for political reasons, and neither truly loved the other. Desmond's true love was another woman, who he would eventually take as a mistress. Helen was otherwise treated poorly, and despite siring their first child, both she and Zephiel were sent to live in a manse outside the castle. Slighted by Desmond's poor treatment of them. Okay. It's possible that Pop-Tart Snake is quoting this person. Maybe Zephiel said something like this, being like, I hope you aren't one of those types who spouts nonsense for the hope of humanity. Because they did put that as the name. Which I think would make more sense, because I think if Pop-Tart Snake was actually saying that, just as their own words, that sounds kind of edgy. A little bit edgy. But I don't know, maybe Pop-Tart Snake is super edgy, you know? I'm gonna assume it's a quote or something. Kind of weird saying that because it feels like a lot of people don't have common sense. Yes, which is weird because then, you know, why do we use the word common sense then? Common sense suggests that it's common. Which is why I kinda don't believe in common sense. I don't really believe it exists. I just think that there's ideas that we think of as normal, and then there's ideas that we don't think of as normal. But normal is a social construct. A lot of things we think of as normal are actually not. And it's very personal. Exhibit voice acting treat? See, I didn't even realize I was doing, like, proper voice acting. I just do that casually. Well, he isn't not edgy. Oh yeah, you two friends. I think that's his response, but I don't really want to speak for him. Yeah, I wouldn't be sure, it's just because the name he put Pop-Tart Snake in brackets, but he put Zephiel, King of Burn, so I feel like if he's doing that, he's pretending to be a character. And Zephiel is a character from Fire Emblem, so I can't comment on it because I haven't played that game, that particular Fire Emblem. It's from Fire Emblem The Binding Blade, which I've never played. It's an older one. I've only played the newer ones. Pop-Tart Hero is a joyful guy, I promise. I mean, if he is joyful, then he probably didn't write that. But let's see if he put, like, a serious one next. Let's see. No, the next one is by someone else. Okay. Is it jokey jokester? Yes, probably. It's probably putting on an act. When you're such a good voice actor, you just do it accidentally. Yeah, me when I accidentally voice act. Okay. What restored your faith in humanity? I think it was my loved ones. I've met so many wonderful people that helped me through tough times that I'm really grateful for. I've seen and been through lots of things that impacted me even though I tried to stay positive. So much so that I grew kinda numb at times and just grew a mentality that I used to protect myself. Born from a saying, the world doesn't seem to care, so I can't afford to care anymore. But my friends have always been the things that helped me through it all. That includes the ones I've made now. This goes for my family and significant other, but my friends always pulled me through. So I'm happy to have them in my life. Sorry if this got a bit vulnerable, got a bit emotional when writing this and wanted to express how I felt. Hope it isn't too much. This one is written by Panda Shea. Panda Shay. And in brackets they wrote, still Shay, but I changed it, lol. Alright, yeah, I think they'd had a name change. Okay, so... yeah, I'm noticing a pattern here. There's a lot of people mentioning that what restores their faith in humanity is like a certain person, a certain friend, who was different from the others. You know, they're used to the world being harsh and cruel and mean to them, but then they meet someone who isn't. And I think that makes a lot of sense, because the world is very cruel, and there's a lot of bad things that happen. But as I said, there's always people who aren't like that. There's always people who will cherish you the way you're supposed to be cherished, and who are decent and have sense. So I think that's the silver lining for us to take from this. It's no matter how bad the world as a whole might be, there are pieces of light that shine in the darkness. And you know, the light shines brightest for those who live in the darkness. So for those who are surrounded by darkness and are in places that are hopeless, and they're suffering and just surrounded by bad people, when someone good comes along that ends up being that light, they're a lot... It shows a lot. It shines brightly. It impacts them a lot. And sometimes one person is all it takes for your life to be changed. For everything to be better. That's the important thing to remember, because I think a lot of people probably have a bad view of the world because they've never met anyone good. Everyone they know is horrible. Everyone around them, their friends, their family. But what they need is to meet someone who's not like that. So I don't know if I'd say the world is a good place overall. I wouldn't say that. I have a bad view of the world. But it's important to recognize that no matter how bad things are, there is good. And there are good people. And if you feel like all your friends are horrible, and don't understand you for who you are, don't accept you, you should find someone else. Because I can guarantee you that there's someone out there who will be better for you. Which is not me saying that the world is great and amazing and perfect. But you can keep looking until you find a little slice of heaven. I believe that fantasy exists in real life for those with eyes to see. Even if it's hard to find. Sometimes. Bro quoted Mikasa Ackerman? Did I? What did I say? I'm genuinely curious, because I didn't realize that I did. I haven't finished Attack on Titan, so... Also, tell me how late in the story that quote happens. Tell me, like, which season. I'm guessing it's still kind of early. Yeah, I guess not for Exhibit, it's like 8 or 9. Yeah, it's 9:40 for me. Because I live in the UK. I don't sound like it, though. Maybe I should try harder and be like, oh, yeah, I'm from... Sorry, wait. I'm from the United Kingdom. I'm British. That didn't work. Come on, England. Okay, not directly, but she says the world is cruel, but it's also beautiful. Okay, but listen, that's not... She didn't invent that saying. There's people say things like that in all sorts of media. Exhibit Australia? No. Finish AOT? I will at some point. But yeah, different Clockland. Don't finish it? Why? I'm getting a bit of an accent because of Thomas. My name is Thomas. I live in England. fuck it, I can't do it. I sometimes can do a better accent, but not, like, all the time. I can do it, funnily enough, I can do it better whenever I speak with a low voice. Like I'm putting on, like, a fantasy voice, so I'm like... Welcome to my castle. I am the evil Lord of Darkness. Welcome to my lair. Why don't you come down, and I will show you. I will show you great power. Yes, it's much easier for me to speak with an English accent when I'm speaking like a villain. For that is the way it is. British people are simply very, very evil. Why did you write it in Japanese? You know we can't read that. I'm assuming you wrote Shingeki no Kyojin. Santa, oh yeah, you remember. That is the voice I used. Love Exhibit Villain. Yeah, Exhibit Villain. Exhibit B. The evil Exhibit B. Alright. Is Attack on Titan is a stupid title? I mean, I'm too used to it to think of it as stupid, but it is, yeah, it is kind of stupid, I guess. Especially doesn't work, because, like, if you read, slight spoiler, but not really, it's not a big deal. The title, Shingeki no Kyojin, later on in the show, they actually say it. So they say the title. There's a part in the story where freaking Eren literally says, Shingeki no Kyojin. But because the English title is Attack on Titan, it doesn't work. Because there's no way, there's no context in which you could say Attack on Titan in the freaking story. Because Shingeki no Kyojin doesn't translate to Attack on Titan. It translates to... how would I put it? It's like Attack Titan, I guess? But Japanese is a very different language from English, so there's no way for me to really say the equivalent. It's like Shingeki no Kyojin, the no is like a connecting word between the two words that means different things depending on the context. So, Shingeki no Kyojin is like... it can kind of mean, like, if you're translating it to English, it could either mean something like Attack of the Titans, or the Titans attacking, or something like that, attacking Titans, you know? But it can also mean the Attack Titan, which is the context it's actually used in whenever he says it in the story, Shingeki no Kyojin. I thought the direct translation was, like, Advancing Titans. Yeah, something like that. Like, Advancing Attack, Titan Attack. Yeah. But then, like, Eren is like, the Attack Titan. And then, in Japanese, it's Shingeki no Kyojin. That doesn't work in English. Because they didn't name the show the Attack Titan. They named it Attack on Titan. So, yeah. He says the Japanese title, but not the English one. So the English, the freaking localizers kind of messed that one up a bit. The Attack Titan, all of us who knows, yeah. Yeah, it can be translated as both the Attack Titan and Attack the Titans. Yeah, exactly. It's like, it can be... and... if you start the show, you interpret the title as Attack the Titans. Because that is what makes more sense, based on what you know about the story. But then later on in the story, it makes more sense to interpret it as the Attack Titan, because reasons. Reasons. Those who knows. Those who knows. Those who knows. Alright. Alright, well. I'm gonna move to the next response. Yeah. What restored your faith in humanity? There was a video that showed a birthmark that was similar to Todoroki's scar. She found a small plushie of Todoroki and said, "His mark looks just like mine. He matches me." There were so many fan drawings of the situation, and even a little animation was made. The voice actor of Todoroki even tweeted a few lines from the character's perspective stating, "Even if my past is a heavy burden to me, it still has the potential to save someone." I thought that was the most wholesome thing, and showed a better side of the My Hero Academia community coming together instead of violent shipping wars. This one was written by Kit Kat. Wow, that is cool. It is definitely very interesting, because we associate the My Hero Academia community with a lot of bad things. They tend to be kind of crazy and not so pleasant. But it's interesting that there was a time when they were kind of chill. So that is nice, and the voice actor of Todoroki got involved too, so that's awesome. Yeah, it's very cool. It's cool that you saw that and were able to derive some hope from it and think, you know, this is a good side to humanity. It's always cool when humans can come together to do something nice. Because it happens sometimes. And, you know, maybe a lot of the time, humans come together to do bad things. But, you know, the world can change in little bits over time, and we can encourage people to come together and do nice things, because there's a side of us that wants to do that. I think in every person there's the desire to do good things. And if we can teach people to give in to that desire, and to prioritize that over the bad stuff, we might have more situations just like that. And maybe we'll have people doing even better things, like, you know, raising money, helping people who are going through horrible things. It's difficult, and the changes are small, but they accumulate over time. And if everyone works together, small things can become big things. I mean, that's cool. Let me read the line that you wrote. I'm gonna read it in Todoroki's voice. Even if my past is a heavy burden to me, it still has the potential to save someone. Alright, I hope that sounded like Todoroki. Alright. People do tell me that my voice sounds a lot like Todoroki, so... or that I do a good Todoroki impression. I hate my father. Damn you, Endeavor. I'm gonna become the #1 hero, without using my right side. Or was it the left? I don't remember. I will use my ice, but not my fire. Midoriya, listen to me. Are you All Might's love child? That was good. Yeah, I know what you meant. Don't worry. Alright. Shingeki is specifically an advancing attack or a charge, yeah. Whoa, hey, Todoroki from the hit anime series My Hero Academia. Whoa! No way. That video is so cute. Oh, you've seen it too. Oh boy, can't wait to spend $200 on groceries. Oh god, good luck. Alright. Let's look at the next one. What's something that restored your faith in humanity? Costco dollar, still $1.50, even after tariffs. And there was no name written. Okay, well... you know what? It's the little things that matter. It's the little things that matter. If that restores your faith in humanity and in the world and makes you think life is worth living. Good stuff. It's the little things that matter in life. A lot of us focus on the big things. We're like, oh, I need big things in my life. I need big, cool things at all times. No, it's the little things that really make you happy. You gotta celebrate the small things. Because if you don't celebrate the small things, you won't celebrate the big things. Because you need to be the kind of person who can identify and appreciate good things, even if they're small. So all the more power to this person. Arizona tea still being 99 cents too. Hell yeah. See, they're being good and still keeping their prices nice and affordable, even with the changes in the world and the economy. A freaking dog is barking. What? Costco has pretty good dog meat? You guys are gonna get me excited. I'm Asian. I love that stuff. Where's the dog meat at? 沙中好生活，现在有冰淇淋。Not $200, only $196, guys. Woo. Yeah, that's so great. Oh my god. That's awesome. That's such a huge difference. That's awesome, guys. Yeah, but like... They meant Costco dogs. Yeah, dogs. Costco does a pretty good dog meat. Hot dogs. Exhibit cancelled for being racist against himself. You know, I take what I can get. There's a lot of types of jokes I'm not allowed to make. And there's a lot of words I'm not allowed to say. So I take what I can get. You know, I'm Asian. Cool. I want to make all the Asian jokes. I want to say the freaking Asian slurs. I'm gonna take what I can get. 'Cause, like, you know, I have things that I can say. You know? Can't wait to pay $700 for a Chinese rose toy. Alright. Let's move to the next thingy. What restored your faith in... Wait, let me make sure I read the last one, yes. What restored your faith in humanity? This community I've loved my entire time here. And here has given me new opportunities and new meaning. This one was written by Unknown. Hell yeah, Unknown. Hell yeah. I don't think Unknown is here right now. Let me scroll the chat. Don't believe so. Yeah, cool. I'm glad that I've made people think that. And I'm glad that I've been able to make a difference in people's lives because, you know, I am someone who does want to make a difference. Sometimes I get exhausted and tired of, like, caring about the world, but at the end of the day, there's always going to be a part of me that wants to make a difference in the world and wants to make people's lives better. And so I'm glad that I am able to do that for some people. It's a good feeling. I do want to be the kind of person who can make people's lives better. So thank you for your kind words. I hope I can continue doing that more and more. And make the world better. Because sometimes, you know, I feel a bit helpless. I feel like there's nothing I can do to make the world better. It feels pointless, but when people say stuff like that, it makes me realize maybe there's things I can do. Maybe I can do something. And that's good. Because I view the world negatively, but I don't want to. I'm a very reluctant nihilist. I want to believe. that making the world better is possible. And sometimes I do believe that. I have phases where I believe that, and I have phases where I believe the opposite. I want to believe that a better future is possible for all of us. And if I can be part of that, that'd be awesome. I'd like it if someday I could change the world in some big way. There's a part of me that wants to do that, you know, that has that aspiration. And you know, it's probably not realistic, but it's fun to imagine. It's not like changing the world is impossible. There's people throughout history who have changed the world. There's people who have, you know, those famous people throughout history who have made societal change occur. And there's people in the world, throughout history and in the world today, who have caused negative change to occur. Very major, sweeping, vast negative change. But I think if it's possible for people to do that much negative change, it must mean that positive change is also possible too, because I think a lot of us might say, you know, changing the world is impossible, but it's clearly not. There's a lot of situations where people have changed the world, even where individuals have changed the world on their own, because of their actions. So it's possible. And I want to believe that it is, and I want to convince myself that it is. Even though it's hard to believe in sometimes. So I'm going to try to believe that, even if it's hard. Because I want to. And I don't want to accept that the world is just bad and that I have to be cool with that. I don't want to accept that. Because there's a lot of reasons to accept that. A lot of very tempting reasons. They're very tempting. But I don't want to. I just don't want to. And maybe that's a good enough reason. I will simply choose to believe. I simply will. I don't care if that's a bad reason. I'm just going to. I think that good things do exist. And I think that the world can improve. And I think that the world can change. I mean, look at how far we've come. Like 500 years ago, the concept of, like, human rights didn't even exist. Okay, but maybe that's not true. That's not true, sorry. The concept of human rights is a very recent concept. For most of human history, that has not even been a thing. But in recent times, we have done so much. And we've regressed a bit. We kind of go forward and then go back. We kind of like take, you know, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, that kind of thing. Or even 1 step forward, 5 steps back. But then we go forward again and we take 7 steps forward, you know? It's very back and forth. And we're at risk of, like, regressing a lot at times. You know, it's constant. It's constantly shifting. But just compare where we are now to, like, 1,000 years ago. It's clear that we're in a better place. You look back in history, you had things like slavery, things like, you know, people being executed for who they fell in love with. You had all sorts of things that we did back then en masse that we do a lot less now. If you look at that and you view history through that lens, it makes sense to believe that things will get better as time goes on, even if they get worse sometimes before they get better. But, you know, it's hard to see it that way sometimes. Because there is a lot of bad stuff. And sometimes that makes it hard for me to believe it too. And maybe someday I'll take all this back and I'll be in another phase of just being depressed and viewing everything negatively. But I think that's a phase. I think this is a phase too. But I prefer phases where I'm a little bit more hopeful. So... good things are possible. It's not impossible. Believing that it's impossible makes it less likely. So we should believe that it is possible, because then maybe it'll work. Maybe it'll work. It's tough to think that way. It's difficult to believe. It's easy to give up hope. But sometimes we need to make the hard decision to believe that a better outcome is possible. Because then, it might happen. And that's the first step. That's the first step towards a better future. So if you're ever feeling nihilistic, or like the world will never be better, just remember that the first step is to believe that it's possible for things to be better. And that might be the first step towards everything improving. And it's not an easy way to believe. It's not an easy way to think. I know better than a lot of people how difficult it is to think that way. I know it very well. But sometimes we need to do difficult things. And so the fact that it's difficult is not a reason to not do it. So yeah, that's what I have to say. Exhibits sound like a based Armin R-alert, Kenny. Yeah. Let me look. Good to have Unknown with us, good company when I'm playing games. Hell yeah, glad you guys get along. Like, I've helped a lot of people make friends. I'm glad that a lot of people have made friends thanks to my community. That's super awesome. And even some relationships have even started because of my community, which is also really cool. Hello, Kleb. Welcome. Glad you could make it. It's fun to be here, so you made my life a bit better. I'm glad, I'm glad. Sorry, I lost the window. You changed my world and Unknown's world. We talk about it all the time. Really? I've had that much of an effect, really? I'm glad. I'm glad I introduced you to... I got you into being with lots of other people too, that's awesome. I'm referring to Toy's message, by the way. Exhibit driving again? Okay, good luck, Peachy. Good luck. If you don't believe it's possible, it won't be. Mm-hmm. And you know, I don't take that lightly, because I do lose hope a lot. It's difficult for me a lot. But you know, that's how it is. I think it's better to believe than not to. Except it's just based and smart. I appreciate that. I am. You're so right. You're so right. Sometimes I forget that I'm supposed to be all like pompous and confident. I forget that I'm supposed to do that. Yeah, guys, I'm so awesome. I'm so cool. I haven't said anything pompous in ages. I'm being too humble. Get that out of here. Get that humility out of here. I want to be epic and confident, and I know I'm good at everything. That's what we do here. I've been forgetting. I've been forgetting to be a pompous ass. Based and smart and respectful. Based, smart, respectful, and talented. Thank you. You guys think quite highly of me, and I'm glad that you do. Because I am pretty awesome, I have to admit. So, I'm glad that you guys can see that. And that makes you very based for seeing that. You guys are based and awesome for being able to see that. And you guys are based and awesome in general, because, you know, I think anyone who's in this chat is based and awesome. You need to be based and awesome to be able to appreciate these streams. And to be able to say the stuff that you guys say in the Menhera Monday messages and stuff. So true, Exhibit is also extremely respectful, but we're inflating his ego, so we gotta knock him down a bit. Yeah, Sal, you're normally the one insulting me. I'm surprised to see a compliment coming from you for once. But it's nice to see you being genuine. For once. I like people being, I like when people are... What's the word? Like... Yeah, genuine. I like that. As much as joking around is very funny. I found a friend through your community recently. Awesome. I'm glad that you did. Oh, bye, Zana. I didn't see your message quite. I'm sorry. I hope they saw me say goodbye. Or they hope they heard me. Hey, shut up. Yeah, got him. Oh no, Salad told me to shut up. Oh my god. So mean. That's so... Ugh, terrible. I just came back from therapy for my crippling fear of having my faith in humanity restored. What are we doing today? Oh, Daniel, I've got some bad news for you, Daniel. Exhibit, I just made friends with Toybox in the chat. Awesome. Exhibit, I'll tell Zani you said bye. Alright, cool. Alright. What am I reading out now? Yeah, okay, we just read out unknowns. We're gonna move to the next. Bro, I can't read this. This is like text in some like... Is this like an actual language, or is this like something else? This looks like a different language. Okay, let me see. Let me put this in the Google. What? Wait, let's do Google Translate, in case it's a regular language. Oh god. Okay, that's Hebrew. I translated it, and it said, I'm watching you. I'll see you soon. Jeez, what the fuck? That's creepy. I'm watching you. I'll see you soon. And they wrote that in Hebrew. Okay, let me translate the name. And this one, the name is Yours Forever. That's what it translates to. What? What the fuck? Bro, I think someone's stalking me. A regular language. I mean that, like, an actual language that, like, people on Earth speak. Like, there's, like, other... It could be, like... People also speak in, like, code sometimes. That's what I meant. Yeah, what the hell? I think I got a stalker. They're freaking watching me and speaking to me in Hebrew. What the heck? That's genuinely uncomfortable. I think they're just joking around. They're just joking around. It's fine. There's no cameras in my room. There's no people doing stuff. Alright. So Sana said, don't feel bad, it's okay, she appreciates you. Ah, okay. I'm glad she got my goodbye in the end. See, I'm watching you through your window, but I'm not that weird. Yeah, exactly. Even Salad has standards. Salad may, like, stalk me and, like, hide in my closet, but, like, you know, Salad has standards. They're just joking around, and we never saw Exhibit stream again. Yeah, maybe this is the last time you'll see me. It's because of this, person. Alright. Next response. Alright. What restored your faith in humanity? Discord, to be honest. I mean, I've met a lot of wonderful people IRL, but it's nothing compared to the companionship and support I've found on Discord. I get chances to make people's days better, and if I'm ever upset, I can reach out in any direction and find comfort. Not to mention making and sharing art, laughing at jokes, and people not running away from mine. It's honestly been such an antidepressant. I can't imagine how horribly hard everything I'm going through would be right now, if not for my escape into Discord. I'd go on about it, but I'm at work, lol. Exhibit, I owe it all to you for having a server to join and being so good at ASMR. Because of you, I have such a huge family and so much daily joy. Thank you so much. This one is written by Toybox. Hell yeah, Toybox. I'm glad I could help make your life better. Yeah, it's interesting you say Discord. I feel like you say Discord has restored your faith in humanity. Funnily enough, I think for a lot of other people, Discord is the reason why they've lost their faith in humanity, because Discord has a lot of bad stuff on it too. But you know, it really just depends on what community you go to. Because there's a lot of bad Discord communities, and there's good ones as well. It's kind of like the world in general, you know? A lot of bad places, but you can find good places if you know where to look. Yeah. I'm glad that this has been able to make your life better. And yeah, you know, a lot of what I would say is stuff I've already said already about, like, but you know, you managed to make friends, and a lot of you guys are friends with each other now. That's cool. I guess sometimes I kind of like take it for granted a bit, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is just the way it works on, you know, Discord. It's not really, this is just people making friends. This is the way it normally is. But then sometimes I remember that it's not like this on every Discord server. So some Discord servers, it's not like this. People don't make a lot of friends. People, maybe they do make friends, but it's very toxic friendships, and things go terribly. So, I'm glad that I've made a good community, because not every community is good. And I'll be honest, I didn't think my community was good in the past. Because whenever I was younger, and I was doing YouTube, and I was still like a bit, not as mature. I wasn't as good at, like, moderating my community and keeping, like, the weird, like bad people out, or, like, establishing what I wanted, how I wanted people to behave and stuff. And things were kind of weird, and people were kind of bad, and we had a lot of bad apples. But things are a lot nicer now. So I'm glad that my community has actually become a good place now, because I used to really want a community like this. And now I have just that, so things have really improved. So thanks for being around and making a couple of my dreams come true. Hello, Belle. Glad you could make it before things wrap up. There's still a few more messages for me to read, so... Hey, sorry I'm late. I had to take my mom to her doctor appointment. Glad you could make it before the end. We found a character reference, but he's like, I wonder if he does a serious answer next. I'm like, don't get your hopes up. Yeah, we, oh yeah, hello, Pop-Tart. Pop-Tart Snake. Glad you made it in. Yeah, a lot of people in here now. What the heck? Hell yeah. It's unfortunate you missed some of the rambles I went on earlier, but it is what it is. Hopefully I still have a few good rambles before the stream ends. I'd hate for you guys to miss out on rambles from me. I'm really, really, really shy, and Discord and VTuber are the only reason I haven't committed Sudoku yet. And Discord is the only reason that I have friends. Yeah, Discord's helped a lot of people make friends, which is great. And, you know, I think online connections and online friends are just as valid as real-life friends. There is some stuff you miss out on because you don't, like, see each other. There's some things you can't do, but they're real friendships. And I think you should think of them as such. I'm curious what you thought of my answer. I talked about... Yeah, you left your answer a bit vague, because you were saying you didn't want to, like, reveal what it was, so I was like... I just told everyone if they want to, they can contact you about it. Since that's what you said. But I just talked about how common sense doesn't seem very common nowadays. Well, not even just nowadays, I feel like it's like... It's always kind of been... a little. Anyway. What was your reaction to my answer? I was not sure about... I wasn't sure if that was... For a second, I wasn't sure if that's what you actually, like, said. Or sorry, if that like came from you, or if that was you like putting on a character, because for the name you put in like some character from Fire Emblem, so I figured you must be like quoting them or something, or maybe you weren't. Maybe that was your real thoughts. If you know who you know, but I'm assuming it was a reference to something. You read it in voice acting. You did the voice. I love y'all. I didn't expect your Discord server to be a place where I could meet so many wonderful people. My only wish is that I could spend more time on there to hang out with y'all. Well, I'm very glad, Belle. I should enter the VCs more often, because I haven't done that a lot recently. Some of you might want to talk to me a little bit. I like Fire Emblem. Yeah, I've only played the modern ones. I haven't played any of the older ones. But yeah, it seems we've got a lot of people here who like being part of the community. I think, it's also a unique community that we have, because a lot of creators actually, restrict how people interact in the community a lot. So, for example, a lot of people actually set a rule on their stream where you're not allowed to just talk to other people in the chat unless it's... You're only allowed to talk to the streamer and not just have, like, unrelated conversations with people in the chat. But I prefer to allow that just because people can, like, make friends through the chat and stuff. I think that's a good thing. I think some people prefer to restrict that because they're like, they don't want lots of stuff to be in the chat that is not to do with the stream. But, you know, I don't really see the point in doing that. I think it's better if people can get along. Yeah, some people become friends like that. I'd rather give people opportunities to make friends. But then usually in those communities, people can still make friends through like a Discord or something. But there's a lot of people who haven't joined the Discord yet, and I would rather give them the chance to, you know, get to like people, and then there's more of a chance that they'll join the Discord server. Yes, people do it to keep chat slower, but I agree it's a bit silly. Yeah, it maybe makes a bit more sense if the chat is really crowded, and they want to make sure that the messages are relevant to the stream, as opposed to, like, clogging up the chat and stuff, but... I don't know. I don't like to be a super restrictive guy. I like to let people have freedom. Because I think freedom's a good thing. I want people to feel like they have control over their own destinies. But yeah, I actually saw a lot of you guys in VC last night, and I considered joining. But I was also very tired. And so I decided to go to sleep. But I kind of wanted to join a little bit, especially because there was a lot of you in there that I hadn't talked to before, and I thought that might be a good chance, but then I was like, I don't think I gotta sleep. I was very tired yesterday. I've been out with my auntie the whole day. And we ate some lasagna, that was very tasty. And we drank a lot of alcohol. Yeah. And we ate some apple crumble, bit of ice cream. Good times were had. Do you feel bad when I do streams because of the delay and someone deletes a message and I already read it? I do find the delay really annoying on my stream, which is one reason why I might consider moving to Twitch sometime. I'm not really sure though, like that's just... I probably won't, but I'm a bit tempted sometimes, because I did stream on Twitch the other day, remember, with that April Fool's thing with Peachy. And I noticed that it was so much faster. Someone would type a message and I would see it immediately. And it was really fluid. And that would really help, because I think people, especially if you have a smaller audience like I do, it helps a lot to be able to respond to messages immediately instead of seeing them like 20 seconds later. Rest is important. You got drunk? Yeah, I did. It was cool. But I got drunk like a little earlier in the day, and then later on we came home and I sobered up, but I was still tired. You streamed on Twitch? I didn't know that. Yeah, so here's what happened. It was April Fool's Day, and I streamed on Peachy's account, pretending to be her, and I was using her model, and we didn't tell anyone, we just started the stream, Peachy's model appeared on the screen, and then she spoke, and it was me. And I was like, hey everybody, I'm Peachy, welcome back to another Trophy Tuesday. And it was funny. That's why I was promoting her stream in my... You might have seen me paying everyone promoting her stream and the, like, streams channel. That's why. It was because it was me. I wasn't being charitable. I wasn't, like, helping her out. I just wanted people to see me be funny on her stream. That wasn't you, silly. She just had a cold. Wasn't actually Peachy. Ah. Yeah, you guys got me. I'm trying to take the credit for her cool stream. I was pranking you guys. That was her. That was her. That was her. She was sick. She had a brain tumor that altered her speech. Dude, I thought it was Peachy. It was Peachy. I was pranking you guys. I was pranking you guys. Prank. Get pranked. You could tell from how she sounded different, and she was much worse at reading chat because of her fever. Yeah, it was... I threw whipped cream at my mom on April Fool's Day. She wasn't too thrilled. I see. I would get in so much trouble for doing that with my mom. Jeez, that would not go well for me. Yeah, so... Yeah, that was a good time. Alright, I'm gonna look at the next response. We're getting near the end now. What restored your faith in humanity? Cock. They left no name. I think that destroyed my faith in humanity, reading that. All that stuff I told you guys earlier about, like, having hope in humanity and, like, believing in things being better. Forget all that. I take it all back. I take it all back. It's not worth it anymore. I'm in trouble, alright. I'm trying to keep my guard up on any upcoming pranks. Oh gosh, they're gonna be hunting you down, yeah. But no, just kidding. You guys should keep hope. Keep hope in your lives. Believe that the world can be made better. Believe that your lives can be made better. Even if there are people out there who write cock. We should not let that stop us. Never give up hope, always have faith. Yeah, I went on a speech earlier about how we should believe in stuff and believe in better and make things better. But you can't... I can't repeat it all. But, you know, if you guys ever want to watch stuff that you've, like, missed out on, you can always feel free to, like, watch VODs. It's probably not as fun, though, because it's not live, but it's always there. And if you do decide to watch VODs, I will appreciate that, because I always appreciate when people see the streams, even if you aren't watching it live. Because I like people to hear what the things that I say, and to experience what I have to offer. What restored my faith in humanity? Oh, no, sorry, yeah, next response. What restored your faith in humanity? You, smiley face. And there is no name. Well, this is probably... yeah, probably in the same vein as, like, the other messages showing appreciation for me and stuff. But I appreciate it. That's very sweet. Thank you to whoever that was. Wait, let's see. Oh, I had it on the wrong chat. I've missed some messages. Let's see. I think I know who the cock monster is. Even if the answer is cock. Cocktua. Oh my god. Is it the Hebrew person again? I don't think so. Art can help restore faith in humanity too. That is true. I think that art is very important. And I think people who want to destroy art for any reason are awful. Just remember the white guy born in Jamaica who has the accent, and sometimes when he's in the US, people think he's making fun of them. Yeah, that's the thing. People will probably assume that because people expect people from that country to be a certain race, so they'd think you're mocking them. But no. People of all walks of life exist everywhere. Alright, next answer. What restored your faith in humanity? Toy box, unironically. And this one was not... there's no name written for this one. Toy! Someone wrote about you! You restored faith. You restored someone's faith in humanity. I wonder who that was. What the heck? You should feel proud of yourself. You helped someone... you helped restore someone's faith in humanity. It's very cool. I'm not surprised though, because you give people a lot of hope, and you're very friendly and good to people. I've mentioned that people's faith in humanity is oftentimes brought back when they meet someone who inspires them, who is good to them, and who is cool, and shows them a better way. And it seems like you are that someone, or someone. So that's always good. Secret admirer, yeah, you have a secret admirer. Heck yeah. Hehe. Good girl. Alright. Yeah, yeah. Good girl, toy box. Is that what I should say from now on when someone does well? Good girl, toy box. Being around y'all already makes me feel good and a better person afterwards. It's like you charge up my happy battery. Toy's not a dog? That's true, Toy's not a dog, but she is a good girl. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you've had a good time here, Belle. I'll marry her if it means I can make her even more happy. Well, go for it. I think I'd kill myself if someone called me a good girl. Should I do it, guys? Should I do it? No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it if you don't want me to. I've cleared it with her. I don't just say that to random people. Yeah. Now, I also want to, like, be playfully flirty a little bit more, maybe. I've been thinking recently that might be entertaining. But I also need to gauge who's comfortable with that. I don't want to just say it to someone and they're like, bro, what the fuck? I don't want you to call me that. But I was pretty sure that Toy would be okay with that, so I said it. I feel like I know Toy well enough to know she wouldn't. Exhibit, I dare you to whisper good girl on stream. You dare me? Huh? Okay. Good girl. Alright. I'm gonna stop. I feel like some people liked that, but some people are gonna cringe at that. I don't want to lose the half of my viewer base that doesn't like that stuff. You know, that's the troublesome part. It's like, I want to service the people who simp for me. I want those people. I want to like give content to the simps, but I don't want to put off the people who find that cringe. It's like, I gotta play both sides. It's tough. I'm gonna die happy now. The ultimate compliment from the man himself. Ooh, is it hot in here? Oh my god. Exhibit, you can call me a good girl if you want, even though I'm a man. Oh, Spider Guy, you're such a good girl. Good girl, Spider Guy. I'm a dying Victorian child, and that's the last thing I hear before I die of dysentery. Goodbye. Girl Spider Guy. Oh, goodness. I'm so into doing fan service. I am, though. I dare you to call us all good girls. Belle, is that just your way of saying you want me to call you a good girl? Are you too embarrassed to ask? You're like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if you called us all good girl? Belle? Belle? Be honest with me, Belle. Belle. You just want me to call you a good girl. Good girl, Belle. Good girl. Okay. I'm chasing off all the freaking... I'm chasing off all the nonsense. God damn it. This is what I gotta deal with. I've gotta... Listen to... Dude, listen to Belle. Listen. You're all good girls, chat. Oh my god. I will always enjoy being called a good girl. Yeah, good, because you're a very good girl, Belle. Exhibit, I dare you, instead of calling me a good girl, you send me your card information. Okay. 07543289. I'm joking, I'm making up numbers. Alright. You should call us all good girls, JK, unless... Basically. Yeah, chat, you're all such good girls. So, yeah. I could always lean fully into doing the fan service, because, like, a lot of people get popular doing that. I think we're lucky. I'm lucky in that most of the people here. I'm not a good girl, I'm a good boy. Alright, Kleb, good boy. You're a good boy, Kleb. Even the men are good girls, true. Oh my god. Well, it seems like no one's complaining, though. Faith in humanity restored? Dang. Okay, Exhibit, your next stream should be a Whisper ASMR. I could actually do an ASMR stream. I just don't have a directional mic, so most people when they do ASMR streams, they have like a mic with like 2 microphones, or a mic with 2 ears. I can't do that, though. That's a good question, Toy. I should have spoke too soon. I'm just gonna pretend that never happened. If it turns out they're younger, I'm just gonna forget about it. Alright, they're 18. Anyway. Should we move on to the next response? My faith in humanity was restored when Exhibit called us all good girl. Yeah. At some point, I might just... yeah. Clip for Twitter, no. Oh my god. Yeah, what was I gonna say? Yeah, at some point, I might just make a rule that, like, no one under 18 is allowed in the chat. I might do that. I removed someone who was underage before because it was just getting kind of weird. But it's not actually an official rule, like I haven't put it in the description. Like I don't... If I become more flirty, I should probably do that. It's just that right now I just make... I make like weird humor. I don't think that like... I don't think it's harmful for younger people to hear like humor. But if I ever become more like flirty as a streamer, I'm gonna have to do that because I don't wanna direct that at the wrong person. Spider Guy's 13. Oh, Spider Guy! I'm gonna have to ban mods. Ban Spider Guy. It's funny me saying it's funny to say mods because I don't have any mods. It's funny to say that. Salad is 8. Mods, ban Salad. Can't you age restrict your content? Thomas, the way that age restriction works on YouTube is that if you age restrict your content, it does not get recommended to like other people like very much at all. Like you lose. If you age restrict your content, it just doesn't show up in the algorithm. It's you're basically just committing suicide with the video. That you're stopping it from reaching anyone. So that's why most people don't age restrict their content, which is very much YouTube's fault. I think it would be good if there was a way to age restrict your content without completely losing your ability to like reach people. If YouTube could do that, I'm sure people would age restrict their content more often, and then you could have like an adult side of YouTube and like a non-adult side of YouTube, and that would function a bit better. Yeah. But yeah, and then you also lose all like ad stuff if you age restrict your content. You can't monetize at all if you're age restricted. Yeah, you can't at all. Oh, a Discord mod? Yeah, we've got Discord mods, but we haven't got any chat mods. I hate the age restriction BS. Yeah, they make it impossible to like make any content that's like... Yeah, if your stuff gets... If you make a video and it gets age restricted, it loses all its traction. That's why people have to be so careful to not make their videos get age restricted. That's why people have to censor themselves so much, and stuff like that. Whatever you're cooking, I'm demanding seconds and thirds. Oh my god, you know? Saying good girl in Swedish is fucking weird because the word used in Swedish expression only covers people under 15, which makes it so much weirder. Really? Oh dear. I know what a Wii balance board is. Funny you mentioned that. I'm sure you guys, some of you remember Peachy and the freaking Hear Me Out stream. She put the Wii balance board as her Hear Me Out. You guys remember that? No, it's my favorite pet name. As long as I'm not in Sweden, it doesn't count, right? Yeah, no, it doesn't count. You still get to be a good girl, Belle. You still get to be a good girl. Bro, this is just the fan service stream. I swear to God. Bro thinks he's peachy? I mean, I was peachy for a little while. Can I be a good boy? I'm a good boy. I'm a good boy. Meow meow. Yes, Salad, you're such a good boy. Oh my god. Hey y'all, hello Unknown. What a great time for you to enter. I got angry because Noah's gonna get me banned for being 8. You should have thought about that, Salad. You should have thought about that before choosing to be born at the wrong time. You know what's wild, though? People born in 2007 are 18 now. They're adults. 2007. How did this turn into the good girl stream? I don't even remember. Call me a good they-them? Yeah, you're such a good they-them, Salad. Good them. A good Latinx? Oh no. Bruh. Good Latinx? Bruh. Latinx. You're such a good Latinx, Salad. I'm a good artist, right? Yeah, you're a good artist, Tess. Good artist. Good artist. I'm a good Hispanic quote-unquote person. Bro. Not the self-racism. That sounds like a slur. It practically is. Latinx. Yeah, you're fucking Latinx now. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm getting cancelled for that one. Am I a good Gooner exhibit? Yeah, you're such a good Gooner, Spider. Good Gooner. We're good organ donors, right? Yes, that's right. That's right. You're good organ donors. Latinx. good artist, rubs belly. Who wants some oil paints? Oh my god. Bruh. Okay, this stream is very fun. Yeah. I'm not sure how much to lean into the fan service, because I know a lot of you clearly like it. Yeah, we'll see. We're doing well so far. I don't think I've put anyone off. Or if I have, they haven't said anything. They've just, like, silently left the chat and, like, not said anything, which... We'll see. We'll see. Do it gradually, exhibit lean slowly. Yeah. Wish you didn't miss a good chunk of stream. Yeah, you missed a lot of cool stuff. If you want to, you can watch the VOD, but I understand if that's, like, less interesting. Spider's very fond of it. He's kicking his dirty feet right now. Yeah. All of you are such good girls. What can I say? Good girl, Chad. Good girl. Alright. Bro. If this were Twitch, I'd be able to have... because on Twitch, they have these, like... What is it? Like, you can pay a certain amount of bits. It's like a chat alert, and then you can... And then the streamer will do a certain thing for you. So you'd be able to pay, like a small amount of, like, whatever, and then I would, like, call you a good girl. A lot of VTubers do that, especially. So then that way... It's not an all-the-time thing, it's like, if someone asks for it and they, like pay it. And it's not even, doesn't even have to be real money, it can be, like, the free currency that you get as well. Channel points, yeah. Yeah, and you get channel points for free on Twitch. Because you just get they just load in over time. Or, no, not load in, you get it just for watching. 5 billion bits to shit self on stream. Ooh. For 5 billion bits, I'd have to do it. 1200 for exhibit saying good girl, good boy, or ara ara. Ara ara. Ara ara. Hey. Oh ho ho. Alright, anyway, I'm being... Part half of me wants to do jeans, but I can also imagine sweatpants. I need to know what kind of pants you should be wearing. Wait, what are you guys talking about? So would you have a reference sheet of your character? No, I do not, because some of you probably don't know this. I didn't commission this model myself. It was like, I bought it. It was like available and I bought it. So it was already made before I paid for it. It was already in existence. Exhibit, you're my oishi. You mean oshi, I'm pretty sure. But yes, I'm glad that I'm your oshi. Hey, I'm kinda into that ara, and I'm not even gay. I mean, I wish I was bi, but I'm not, lol. You're into it even though you're not gay? I don't know, maybe you've got a side to you that you don't know about. Who knows? Who knows? 4. Alright, well. What time is it for me? How much longer should I stream for? You sure you're not her oishi? Maybe. Maybe that's something else. Oishi means, like, delicious in Japanese, so maybe she's saying I taste good. Well, I think we know what we should do for exhibit. I don't think I've caught on. I guess you guys... You know what kind of pants you wear. Okay, wait, are you asking... Were you asking me that, or... If you're asking me that, I don't... Let me see. Wait, if I move my model, I won't be able to put it back. 12 channel points to remove 1 electrode molecule from each element on the periodic table. Oh, that's a good idea. I should have that if I move to Twitch. Exhibit is Toy Box's Delicious. Oishi manko, or whatever Pink Guy said. No. Pink Guy said, "Ore wa ochinchin daisuki nanda yo." Pink Guy also said, "Why did you leave me?" Attention all artists, let's make a reference sheet for exhibit. I should probably make my own reference sheet at some point. Or, well, actually, no, I'd probably need to work together with an artist for that. Or, like, if I made a new model sometime. So maybe. I've been reached out to that for that kind of thing before. $500k channel points to receive one official exhibited cryptocurrency. Yeah, I could start my own cryptocurrency. Wouldn't that be cool? Yeah. Just like the Haktua girl did. His skin will be 5% greener than usual and everyone will be upset. Maybe. Salad be 100% accurate and make him pregnant. What? What do you mean accurate? I'm not pregnant yet. That character design suits you? Yeah. Yeah, because, like, if I do ever get, like, an exclusive model, I would want it to look very similar to this. But it would be more expressive, and the outfit would also be different. Because I would want to lean more into actually having a VTuber that is, like, unique and has, like, lore to it. So I would make myself look like a dimension hopper. So I'd maybe have some slightly sci-fi stuff on me. Some, like, time traveler kind of looking gear. Very, like, maybe some, like, cyberpunk kind of stuff on me. So that it looks like I could be someone who, like, travels from, like, from universe to universe. Because my lore would be, I travel to alternate universes. And some of you are new, so I'm going to give the lore again. And some of you probably forgotten. My lore that I would want if I got my own model would be, I was a dimension hopper. No. I was born in a different universe, not this one. I was born in a very dystopian world with, like, a dystopian government that, like, you know, had, like, strict laws and no one can do anything. No fun allowed. But then, whenever I was a kid, I wandered into a portal that took me to this world. And then I grew up in this world. And I preferred this world because it was better and more free and stuff. And I got attached to a lot of things here as I grew up. You know, like anime and video games and all that. And I just loved all that stuff. And this place became my home. But then, whenever I became an adult, the multi-dimensional police or whatever, you know, like the freaking... It's like the people from Spider-Verse, you know? The, like, multi-dimensional task force that keeps the multiverse safe. Like, those people, they catch me and they're like, no, you need to go back to your old universe because you don't belong here. So you have to go back. And I'm like, no, this place is my home. And they're like, okay, you can visit this universe sometimes and, like, continue living life here a little bit if you work for us. And so they forced me to work for them. They're called Globex. So I worked for Globex for a bit, but then I find out they're actually pretty corrupt. And there's, like, they're kind of bad and they kind of make the multiverse worse in a lot of ways. By, like, being bad and causing trouble and abusing their power at times. So then I'm like, screw this. I'm not going to work with these guys. And I steal their dimension hopping machine. They call it the Mandela machine. And I use the Mandela machine. It's kind of like... It's kind of like a less cool TARDIS from Doctor Who, I guess. It's not bigger on the inside. But, like, I use it and I travel to different universes and I become an interdimensional outlaw who's on the run from the Spider-Verse people who are trying to, you know, from Globex, who's trying to hunt me down because I'm an outlaw. I'm not obeying the laws of the multiverse, and they want to return me to my original place, and, like, not, and they're gonna hunt me down. But I travel from universe to universe, going on adventures, going to, like, some of them are, like, medieval worlds, some of them are, like, normal worlds that are, like, similar to this one. Some of them are, like, cyberpunk worlds. They're all just vastly different. But I go on adventures. I'm on the run from the people. And then I I do a lot of cool stuff. That's my lore. If I ever become like a really big VTuber, and I like have a high budget, I would like to be the first person to make a VTuber movie. So like a feature-length film, like 1 hour and 30 minutes, of like showing like a more, yeah, like a movie of like part of like how I really got here and stuff, you know. That's something I'd love to do, but that's very far away, I feel like. Just found out I can't afford to fix my cat's urinary tract infection. It's $220 for the test, even though I know they have it. And I have 3 cats, I only make $200 a week. Oh no, yeah. That's messed up, because, you know, they don't, even in countries where they, pay for health, your, like, health coverage and stuff, it doesn't cover, like, animals, so you always have to pay out of pocket, pretty much. And it's really bad. I'm sorry you gotta deal with that. Yeah, it sucks that because you also know that they have it, but because they have to go through their protocols and they're not willing to like change the rules, they require you to get it tested anyway, even though you know, which is just like a waste of money. I feel bad moving on to something else right after talking about that. I just read another message. I'm sorry. Yeah, things might still work out. Hope you wrote a script and stuff for your lore exhibit. Sort of. I've written some things. I've written some, yeah, but I don't think I'll even use that script. Like, so many ideas have changed. It's like, if I would have to write it from scratch, probably, if I did do that. Want me to make you pregante, gender bent for furryization? No. I mean, you can if you want, but I probably just want an ordinary dude who looks like he could be a dimension hopper. Kind of like time traveler vibes, but like not actually a time traveler. I travel universes, not, you know. Well, the submission's been read already? Nope, but we've only got like a couple more. I've only got one more. There's only one more. Okay, what restored your faith in humanity? Seeing one of my siblings go out of their way to help out homeless people whenever they get the chance to. I only really found out when they were on an outing and they stopped to get a homeless man some food. It's not something they ever talk about or mention to other people, and that's how I know they don't do it for validation or to feel like a good person. They genuinely do it out of the kindness of their heart, and that's something I strive to be like. This one was written by Spider. Yeah, fair enough. It is cool when we see people helping people, because there are a lot of people in need. A lot of people who go through things and are abandoned by the world, by the government, by the systems. And you can make a big difference by helping those people, because there's some people out there who are willing to help people like that. And that's very nice. And it's good to see that when you're used to seeing so many like bad people, and when you're so used to seeing people be horrible and nasty and ruin the world and make it worse. It can be nice to see someone who is trying to make the world better and to realize, well, not everyone is bad. It's cool. And you know, I wouldn't really consider myself one of those people who just does things selflessly. I probably am not the kind of person to like put lots of work into like helping out the homeless, or like working for a charity without pay, things like that, or like volunteering. Like I do want to make a difference in the world and make it better, but I would want to do it in a way that I enjoy, as opposed to just doing it selflessly. So like streaming, for example, see people seem to think that I make their lives better through streaming, and that's great. But I don't do that selflessly. I do it because I like it. So that I think is in a slightly different category to things like, helping the homeless, things like that. Because I get a lot out of it. It's a fun thing. But I want to help the world in ways that are fun for me. So I'm a little bit more selfish, but I still want to make a difference because it would feel good. And it would feel like a shame to just never try anything. So, that's what I think. That's what I think. Well, yeah, your sibling is probably a very good person. And that's always good to see. Music stopped. I'm gonna get the music started again. There we go. Streaming should be fun. I love to stream. Yeah, it's very cool. Awesome stuff. And I hope I can make people's lives better with it. Whenever I get more popular, I could even try to do more good with my streaming, with my platform. Because I could do things like charity streams, where I am able to, raise money for things, and like, maybe we can use that to save some lives and make people's lives better. That is something I want to do someday. At my size, a charity live stream wouldn't work. I don't even have monetization on yet, because I haven't unlocked it on YouTube. But I would like to believe that someday I could do that, because I would feel good about myself, and I would feel like a cool, good person, It would be nice. Well, Exhibit has helped my life a ton. Thank you, Exhibit. Glad I could help. I did read your response on the Menhera Monday, and I appreciate you letting me know that I'm able to make a big difference in your life. So we all agree we need to protect Toy no matter what. Exactly. Gotta protect Toy. People like Toy are not very, not as... they're... Not everyone is like Toy. We need more people like her in the world. And so we gotta encourage that and preserve that. Wait, hang on, guys. Don't... Okay, hang on. Guys, you're debating communism. I know you guys are probably very passionate about your opinions on that. I don't think... I'd prefer you not to debate communism in the live chat. If you really want to debate it, you can take it to DMs. It's best. This is normally why I don't want to veer too much into politics on the streams, because it makes people get kind of mad at each other. I'm looking into this custom VTuber program, but I'm looking at all these different ones, like half-body only or chibis. Yeah, if you want to get into VTubing, there's a lot of cheaper options, because if you commission your own... We were agreeing, though? Oh, you were? I thought you were arguing, sorry. Anyway, I don't know if you were. It looked like you guys were arguing. Whatever. Please don't debate communism in the live chat. Yeah. That is a bit of a crazy sentence, I guess. Kind of on the same level as, like, please don't give birth in the VC. I'm looking... Yes, but anyway, as I was saying, there's a lot of free options A lot of free options for, no, not free. Well, there are free options, actually. But there are cheaper options when it comes to VTubing. If you get your own, most VTubers that you see who are popular, who are out there, they have exclusive models that they have commissioned, so those models were made specifically for them. But those are very expensive. They cost a lot. They can cost up to $1,000, even more actually, depending on what you get. If you get something really with a lot of toggles or with good art on it, you know, they aren't cheap if you're commissioning it. But there are options for cheaper. So this model that I currently have costed, I think, if I remember correctly, around like £50 or so. £50, so in dollars that would be similar-ish, maybe $40, $50, $60 or so, somewhere in that range. I wouldn't be precisely sure how it translates to dollars, but it's around that range. So you can find pre-made models that have already been made, and you can just buy those. And then you can also find customizable models. That's what Peachy has. Peachy has a customizable model. I'm sorry if you didn't want me to mention that. I didn't actually ask you, but I'm assuming you're not No, you're not. I'm assuming you're not actually, because it's probably in the agreement when you buy it that you're supposed to give credit for it. But or that you're not supposed to claim it as your own. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know what the contract was on your thingy. But there's customizable models where you can customize the hair and the eyes and certain features. But it's like, there's limitations. Adding Peachy without consent is crazy. No, but I'm pretty sure she's not actually allowed to hide the fact that it's who it's made by as well, actually. That's how they tend to work on the contracts. So I don't think I'm doing anything bad by revealing that, I'm pretty sure. But I credit my descriptions and such, and I customize the fuck out of mine. Yeah. Okay, so she's public about that. Yeah, it's a customizable model. And you can change... every model that she bought a base thing, and there's like a customization thing. You can control the hair and, all this stuff. And she made it look unique. And so that's another good option, because then you can choose how it looks to some degree. And that could be really good. So yeah, that's a good option if you want to get into VTubing and you want to not spend a whole enormous amount of money. Unfortunately, it does still cost a bit, because again, £50, which I paid for mine, it's nothing to scoff at. You can get stuff for cheaper as well. So yeah, you can do a lot. There's much potential. I want to debut my model this year. Yeah, are you getting one commissioned? Or are you even making one? It's another option, of course. You can make your own model, but it requires a lot of skill. It's not easy to do. It's very... Mine was like 40 Canadian dollars, cheaper than £50. Technically, I need to make a 3D VTuber off the Reality app, but I don't know how to connect it to a computer. Belle, unfortunately, the Reality app is a cool, fun way to, like, do a bit of VTubing and stuff, but you can't connect it to your computer. You can only stream on the Reality app. You can't stream to YouTube or to Twitch. So that's the downside of that. It's a very efficient way to make good-looking models, but you can only use their site. You can only stream on their platform. So it's very limiting. It's not a good way to actually start a proper VTubing career, if that's what you're looking for. It's good for, like, funsies, or to, like, experiment with live streaming, but you won't be able to do it on the YouTube or Twitch. It's just for, like, a little bit of fun. But like you can still get popular on the app, and some people get popular on the app and can even, I think, make money off of it. But if you're looking to be a YouTuber or a Twitch streamer, that won't work. But you know, I looked into that as well whenever I was getting into trying to look for options for VTubing. So unfortunately, I've barked up that tree and found that there was no fruit. Name one VTuber who's proper. I mean, when I say proper VTuber, I don't mean like they're normal. I mean that they're like doing like that they're like a big VTuber, or that they're like the standard in their niche, in the VTuber niche. So like Hololive, like Gargura, Amelia Watson, she graduated. Saresfana, she graduated. And I don't know if I would call Pipkin Pippa proper. I feel like the Phase Connect girls are very unhinged compared to other VTubers, but that's their appeal. So don't get too cheap one, the artists deserve good pay. You tend to get what you pay for as well, though. If you get a cheap one, the quality will be lower. So yeah, get a model that's pre-made and you don't need to pay as much, and then stream until you earn enough money to buy a proper one. That won't happen for a long time though. It takes a while to get popular and big. VTuber normal, those two words don't belong in the same sentence. Yeah, they're not normal. I mean, like, normal for VTuber standards. They've got, like... If you look at the standard for VTubers, you got, like, Hololive. And they're, like, you know, people look to that as, like, you know, what a VTuber is, like, supposed to be, but there's no real way a VTuber is supposed to be, but people have conceptions about that. Like, some people are like, oh, you shouldn't be a VTuber if you're a guy, or you shouldn't be a VTuber if you aren't going to use an anime model. But people do that anyway. There's lots of things you can do with VTubing that go against, like, what is considered the norm for VTubing. And, you know, if that's what you want to do, you totally can. I mean, I'm a male VTuber. A lot of people hate male VTubers, but I'm doing it anyway. Watson graduated from Hololive, but now she did switch to a different name. She did, like, switch to a thing. But, be careful talking about that publicly in, like, stream chats, because that's considered, like... That might put them in trouble with their companies if people talk about it too much. Anybody should be able to VTube in any way they want? Yes. Yeah, because they got, like, NDAs and stuff. But anyway, Yeah, I'm not into the idea of, like, gatekeeping VTubing. I think people should get into it if they want to, and do whatever they want, even if they do things that are different. But at the same time, I kind of understand some people being afraid that, like, the community might be overridden by people who have, like, who disapprove of certain parts of the community, or are trying to, like, override it. Like, people throw around the word tourist a lot. I'm not sure if I would want to use that term myself, because it's a little bit too all-encompassing. It's a bit of, like, it's one of those words where people just use it to describe anyone they don't like. But a lot of people talk about, like, tourists. They use that word to describe people who come into the anime community or the VTubing community, and they want to, like, change the community, or they're, like, they don't like certain aspects of it, and they're trying to change it. So, you know, a lot of people want to gatekeep, because they're like, we don't want people coming into the community who are going to tell us what to do and say that we have to stop doing certain things because they don't like it. And I understand that, but I still think you shouldn't stop people in general coming into the community. I don't really agree with the idea of gatekeeping. There are some bad people who come into the community and will kind of ruin things for other people, or will be obnoxious, or try to, like, force other people to stop doing certain things, or say that, you know, certain aspects of VTubing culture need to be gotten rid of. But that doesn't mean you should gatekeep everyone, or gatekeep all normies, as we would call them. Because if someone likes it, there's a lot of normies who will respect VTuber culture and will just enjoy it instead of trying to like tell other VTubers what to do or like change the community from the inside. And you should just let people do stuff. And you know, if the community changes in like a natural way, that's fine too. I'm against people coming in and like telling other people what to do and being like, yeah, you need to stop doing this. But I'm okay with the community changing if it's just the way it's going, you know, that's the natural progression. Because that's... you can't argue that should stop, you know, you kind of just need to... Sometimes change happens, and maybe you might prefer the way it was in the olden days. But that doesn't give you the right to stop people from living how they want to. And you know, you'll always find people who do things the way that you liked in the past. You'll always be able to find VTubers who do it the traditional way, even if the standard for VTubing changes. There's a lot to work with. I was a PNG tuber for a little bit because my webcam wasn't working at the time. That's actually another option. You can become a PNG PNG tuber if you want to get into like VTubing type stuff, but you don't want to buy a model. PNG tubing, you can make your own PNG. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's like you have a little image in the corner. So instead of a model like what I have, you just have like a still image, but whenever you speak, it starts moving, like the mouth starts moving, or it like kind of like pops up and like changes position a little bit. So it's not as dynamic as a VTuber model, but it is still, you know, it's still something, and it's a persona that represents you that isn't just your real face. So that's another option you can take if you really want to get into that stuff. Gonna drive? Alright, good luck, Toy. Are you exhibiting and driving, or do you gotta focus more? Guess like gatekeep girl boss, real. Alright, well. Persona! Yeah. Persona! I would make a good Persona protagonist. I would have made a good voice actor for Joker. I am the Jonkler himself. Persona. This is it. I am Joker. Yeah, he doesn't have many lines, so I don't know how to voice it, but I would make a good Persona protagonist, alright? That'd be so cool. I'd be like Persona! I would be like, steal their heart. I'll go back and forth between VTuber and using my IRL face in some streams. Yeah. Yeah, so you're a lot more comfortable using your real face. But in my case, I don't want to do that. So it's convenient that I like the VTuber community, because VTubing is up my alley in general. Like, VTubing is good for people who don't want to show their face on streaming. Because usually, with streaming, you have to show your face, otherwise people won't watch you. They don't really like it when people don't use a webcam, because they want to see you and recognize you. But the exception to that is VTubing, because then you don't have to use your real face, because you're showing something else. You're showing a different persona that they can look at. So it's convenient, because in my case, VTubing suits me not only because I prefer to have my own, to not show my own face, but it's also good for me because I like the VTubing culture. I like the community. I like how degenerate they are. I like the stuff that they celebrate and enjoy. It's a good, you know, there's toxic pockets of it too. I see a lot of that on like Twitter and stuff. But I tend to only follow the VTubers who are chill and cool. So, me personally, the toxicity doesn't bother me much, because any of the people that I've watched are all cool. Love being a degen? Yeah. That's the cool thing about the VTubing community. It's very much a degenerate-friendly place, where that stuff is very accepted. You don't really get mocked for it. It's just the culture. It's part of it. Stream explode on his or my end? Oh frick. Let's see. I think it's still working for everyone else. Oh, frick. Yeah, I think it's just you, Daniel. It is just him, right? Maybe someone should tell him that it's just him. Tell him to, like, refresh the page. Pretty sure. Alright. Alright, gotta go. Alright, see you later, Belle. Thank you for stopping by. It's been fun having you. It's always good to have you here. Thank you for being a good girl. I'm still doing that, I swear to God. Okay. I love that you're degenerate but still very respectful and not overbearing. Yeah, I believe that there's a good way to do degeneracy. I think, you know, people lump all degenerates into the same category. But I think there's a lot of variance. You know, there's a lot of people who we call degenerates who are actually bad and do deserve to be scrutinized. You know, people who do actual harmful things to real people. Those, we might call them degenerates, but they deserve the label. Then we also call people degenerates for liking perfectly harmless things. Gotta go, parents are kidnapping me. Alright, see ya. You're heading off too, Tess? Alright, see ya, Tess. See ya, Amiya-chan. Have a good day, both of you. Yeah, so we lump all these people into the same category, but, you know, there's people who do deserve the label because they're actually bad, but then there's also people who are just doing harmless things, like enjoying things that are, like, they're weird in the eyes of society, and they're viewed as, like, kind of maybe disgusting by a lot of people, but it's not actually harmful. And there's a difference between what is personally disgusting to society or to individuals, and what is actually harmful for people. But we get the two confused so much. We lump them together. We mix them too much. You know? And it's very much in our nature to do that. You know, throughout history, that is what we've done as a species. We demonize the things that we find disgusting. And we equate what we find disgusting to evil. Yeah, I've also been thinking maybe we shouldn't actually appropriate the degen label, especially with its history of use against the LGBT. I could talk about that, actually. I don't think it's harmful to use the word degenerate as, like, a positive thing. I do think it's bad to use that against people in a negative way. So, I kind of half agree with you. I don't think it's bad to refer to ourselves as degenerates, as, like, a fun, playful thing. I think it's bad if you demonize other people for being degenerate. So, that is worth talking about. So, that famous degenerate art in the 30s and 40s. Yeah, I was actually going to go over that. I was actually going to talk about that. So, for those of you who don't know, I'm pretty sure, yeah, the term degenerate art originates from Nazi Germany, because they wanted to demonize art that they found offensive. So, and that was usually to do with, like, LGBT kind of depictions, or like any books involving, like, any like gay relationship being portrayed, all that kind of stuff. My brain is tired from drawing around all day, so if I fall asleep, don't be mad. So I'm gonna say goodbye just in case. Alright. Well, if you do fall asleep, I've heard your goodbye. Alright, well. Yeah, but anyway, as I was saying, yeah, so it is the case that I think that using the word degenerate as an insult might actually be, like, I hate to use this term, problematic, right? It's like it's a sentiment that suggests that things can be morally wrong because they are disapproved of by society and nothing else, which is kind of the mentality that people had in Nazi Germany, which is that this thing is unclean, this thing is degenerate, for lack of a better word, so that justifies us getting rid of it. But that's very much the wrong mentality, I think. So but yeah, they demonized art back then on the grounds that it was like degenerate, so like depictions of gay people, depictions of like just any sort of thing that they found like degenerate. They would just lump it into that category, and then they would burn those books. They would jail people who created it and who consumed it. Yeah, things are morally wrong so they're harmful, nothing else. Exactly. So I think stuff like that is very reflective of how humans think in regards to like morals sometimes, and where we prioritize the wrong things. We're like, this thing is wrong, it's disgusting, so they demonize it. Literally any word can be used to refer to someone negatively, so in my eyes, words such as degenerate are fine as long as you don't use it negatively. Maybe. I'm not really sure what I think. I mean, obviously, I kind of use it sometimes. It's like, I would say I'm not sure how I feel about it. I kind of flip-flop on it sometimes. But I think that if you're going to demonize someone, you should do it on the basis that they are doing something harmful. Not just that what they're doing is, like, disgusting to society. Because, you know, we're lucky now to be living in an age where we're starting to, like, really have more positive views of things, like people being gay and so on. Like, a lot of the Western world is now no longer viewing that as something morally wrong. We view that as something that is that people have a right to do, and that we say that on the basis that, you know, why ruin someone's happiness if they're not actually harming anyone. And I think that should be the standard. But I think people are very hypocritical, because a lot of people think that way now because those ideas are popular. So, you know, it's trendy to be accepting of those things now, which, you know, is a good thing. But the same people who will be like, oh, love is love, or, oh, people should do what makes them happy as long as it doesn't harm anyone, those very same people will turn around and they will demonize people for example, being degenerate, liking weird degenerate things, liking weird art. And obviously those issues aren't as important. I would say that, like, gay rights is a lot more important than, like, freaking being allowed to like degenerate anime, for example, right? But the principle is the same, which is that they're saying something is wrong because it is disgusting, because it meets their standard of this is icky or just bad. Society is disapproving of this. So I think it's very hypocritical that a lot of people do think that way, because you'd expect people to know better by now, that we should really just let people live their own lives. Love is love? Oh, not in the way you do it, honey. Yeah, it's that kind of attitude. There is an extent to love is love. There's a reason we don't like pedophiles and such. Yeah, but I don't consider that love. So I don't really... I say love, I mean two people who are mutually in a situation where they have a connection to each other. I don't think a situation of exploitation counts. So if you were exploiting someone, manipulating someone, grooming someone, I wouldn't really count that as love anyway. So I don't count that. But it's true that some people kind of like, some people who try to defend that stuff go like, oh yeah, you say love is love. If you can have gay rights, why not let pedophiles do things, and it's like, that's two very different things. Because again, as I said, people should do what makes them happy as long as it doesn't harm someone. Pedophilia is very harmful. There's a lot of reasons why you shouldn't do that. So as far as I'm concerned, my principle still holds in that situation. Yeah. So. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, I've done a lot of philosophy this stream, which I'm glad for, because I do want to bring back my philosophical side. But yeah, I think but yeah, I think that disgust moralism is the root of a lot of evil in our world throughout history and now. So I think people should do their best to not let that be what guides them to, like, disapprove of things. Instead, you should focus on whether someone's actions are harmful, not whether you... Because you can personally dislike it. You can personally dislike someone's, like, weird fetish, right? You can be like, ew, they like feet? That's weird. You can dislike it. But that doesn't mean that they, that doesn't mean that they, like, deserve to have no friends, right? It doesn't mean that they deserve to be ostracized by society. Or, like, deserve to go to prison or some crap. But... yeah. It's interesting, because I think as we go into the future, people will hopefully become more self-aware about it. That's what I'm hoping. But I don't know. If there's one thing I've learned, it's that people aren't very self-aware. People will betray their own principles all the time. They'll be like, you know, I support people living their life and being happy as long as they don't harm anyone, and then they'll demonize someone for doing something that's not harmful. But at the same time, I shouldn't be too judgy about that, because a lot of people... I probably do that too without realizing it. I think we're all a little bit judgmental sometimes. I think we all look at things that aren't harmful and then think bad things about it. You know, like we sometimes we just judge people for, like, how they dress or how they look. And, you know, it's very easy to do that. It's not like I've never done that. I do that too. But it'd be better not to, because it's very easy and tempting to denounce people for doing things you don't like, but at the end of the day, do they really deserve that? Not really. I'll totally abandon communism if I win the lottery. Real. Generalized hate towards furries, I think, is a pretty good example of people judging for no good reason. If someone's a furry and does not harm anyone, then I see no reason to genuinely hate them. Exactly, exactly. I think that's a very good example. My microphone's speaking again. Yeah, I think that's a very good example to bring up. Hello, Eve. It's been a while. Hello, welcome back. Yeah, so a lot of people, whenever I was, like, younger and first getting into, like, anime and stuff, I noticed that, I mean, on the internet people hate furries a lot, but even people in the anime community hate furries a lot, and I always thought that was so weird. Because back whenever I was younger, people hated anime a lot more than they do now. Like, liking anime is a lot more accepted now, but back then it was considered even, like, you'd be bullied for liking it in school, pretty much. Because times have changed. But basically, I saw how, like, a lot of anime fans trash on furries, and I was like, I found that really weird. Because I was like, you guys should be friends. You guys both get bullied for, like, being degenerate. You guys both get bullied for liking stuff that is weird in the eyes of society. So why are you guys, you know, why are you bullying them when you should be allying with them? If anything, you should have common ground here. Furries are low-key based as fuck. Half of them contribute so much to humanity for us, it's insane. Yeah, apparently a lot of engineers are furries. I don't know what the correlation is there, though. Or, like, software engineers. I forget. Maybe it's not that. Am I getting it wrong? You guys can correct me, if one of you knows. Yeah. But yeah, welcome back, Eve. Um, yeah, I've always found that really weird, because even people I knew and was friends with would like hate furries, and I'm like, why? I would hate, I would, I would hate to be I wouldn't really care now, because I care a lot less about what people think, but back then I would have hated to be a furry. I was like, it's a good thing I'm not a furry, because if I was, I'd be getting so much hate from people just for no reason, like, you know, it's not a problem. Just let them live. If they're enjoying it, and they're not causing any harm, why not let them do it? I think humanity would benefit so much from having that mentality. And again, so many, like, actual immoralities throughout history have been caused by that mentality of we should demonize things we find disgusting. Again, that's why they criminalized being gay, that's why they banned interracial marriage. Disgust moralism has caused so much damage throughout history, and I cannot fathom why people stick to it today when we have that historical context. So I feel quite strongly about that. I'm like, people should recognize the hypocrisy in thinking that way when we have so much historical precedent for why that's a bad thing. But yeah, I'm glad that we all have based opinions here. We all have based opinions. Yeah, what the hell would be the correlation between furs and engineering? I'm not sure. It's just, it's interesting. I heard someone say that, what was it? What did they say? If a plane to a furry convention crashed, then the world would lose a lot of its, like, top engineers, right? That's what someone said. It's like, something like that. I think a lot of it is about group identity and us versus them stuff, and it's probably something built into human psychology. Yes, definitely. People feel empowered by having people to, like, demonize. They feel more secure in their own identities when they do that. Missed you guys as well. I've been busy the past couple of weeks, but everything's chill now. I'll try to tune in more often. Awesome. I'll be glad to see you more, Eve. It's always cool whenever you show up. Yeah. What sucks is that group identity is a big part of what drives us, and what drives our beliefs, too. So, people don't base their beliefs based on, like, what the evidence says, or what seems logical to them. Rather, it's more in our nature to base our beliefs based on what will get us approval from the group we're in. So if the people in your group believe a certain thing, you're going to want to believe that. And there's a good chance you will believe it just because the people around you do, because you want their approval. And it's not just that you, like, pretend to believe it for their approval. It's that you actually change your beliefs. And that's the funny thing about how our brains work. We're not logical at all. We will change our beliefs to make us feel more comfortable in certain communities. And that's really dangerous, because that is not a good way to find out what is actually true about the world. A lot of us just aren't concerned with truth. We're following an instinct. It's basically just a conformity instinct. You know, it's the conformity instinct that kicks in and makes us form our beliefs, instead of actually thinking for ourselves. And so people get very tribal, and people will hate certain groups of people just because their group hates them, and they'll be afraid to question those beliefs too, because if they stop believing those things, they might become ostracized from their group. Because their group believes those things, and if they stop believing them, their group will be like, oh man, you're not one of us anymore. You're, you know, and then that's why people are afraid to question their beliefs. Because if they question them, and they realize that they're wrong, well, now they've lost their group identity. And that's a really big problem, too. There's a lot to go in about that. Yeah, like the Japanese saying, the nail that sticks out gets hammered down. It's not about snagging your shirt on a nail. Yeah. Yeah. The thing is, it doesn't matter how logical your reasons are for believing something. If what you're believing is controversial within your group, you know, they don't care. They'll just say, well, too bad. Either you agree with us or you're out. And that's why the world we live in discourages critical thinking, and it encourages conformist thinking, where we just agree with the people that we want to fit in with. People are not very accepting of free thinking. If you go up to someone and you're like, okay, I want to agree with you guys, but I found some evidence that suggests that you're wrong, and I want to look at this honestly. A lot of the time you'll get in trouble for that. You'll get in trouble for questioning it. They'll be like, no, you shouldn't, you're wrong, you're bad for even questioning that. You gotta go? Alright, Salad, no worries. I'll probably end stream soon, because I can only stretch out these conversations for so long. But, very cool. See you around. Alright, well. Yeah. I don't know, I hope I've made myself clear with a lot of this, and made my thoughts clear, because I have a lot of thoughts and opinions and, like, things to say about this kind of thing, and it's hard to articulate my words sometimes. One of the downsides about being a herd animal, you need the group for survival, so you might have the group in mind too much at times. Yeah, exactly. The way that we function is with wilderness survival in mind. So the way that we think is very beneficial to people living in the wilderness, but it's not so good for people living in a civilized society. So our instincts are acting as if we're still living in the wild. And in the wild, we need to be very conformist, because, you know, maybe denying reality is better than dying to freaking lions, okay? Maybe everyone needs to agree with each other if they're going to get along and fight off the threats and get the food and survive. But we live in a society where that's not necessary. We don't need to do that, but we do it anyway because our instincts, our wilderness instincts haven't shut off. It's still there. So that's the problem. We need to shift to a way of thinking that is more equipped for civilized society as opposed to the wilderness. Because the rules have changed. If we want to make civilized society as good as possible, we need to live differently. But we're stuck in the wilderness mentality. So we're stuck thinking, I need to conform to my group, and I'm afraid of losing their approval, so I'm going to believe this thing even though it makes no sense. And we use these cult-like ways of thinking, where we ostracize people for disagreeing with us, and where we forbid people for questioning things. Even, you know, and then we're what was I saying? We discourage critical thinking, and we demonize, yeah. Anyway, I think I've said everything that there is to say about that. Because, I could talk more about it, but I'd probably be repeating myself. But I hope you guys find that interesting. Because I want to be the kind of VTuber and the kind of streamer that talks about deep topics and can, like, open people's minds and help people have a better view of the world. I want to be that kind of person. So I hope I'm succeeding at that so far. But you guys seem to like it so far, the things that I talk about. which I'm very glad for. People should not be allowed to graduate to adulthood at 18 without doing LSD and MDMA once each. Really? So I have not done those things, so I guess in your eyes I'm still a child. God damn. But yeah. Yeah, I'd love to try that stuff. Because I've heard that that stuff can be life-changing and can, like, really open your mind. And, like, assist your way of thinking, viewing the world. So you might have a point there, but I've not experienced that personally. Yeah, that's sitting home, an old friend group I've since left. I conformed to because I wanted to avoid judgment and stay there at the time. Yeah. And we do that because it's in our instinct and we're afraid of losing their approval. Being very based right now to think you're articulating yourself very well. Thank you, I appreciate that a lot. Yeah, I get better at articulating myself as I go along. I say a lot less now, which is great. I said that so much at the start. I still use here and there, like I'm just being like whatever. I'm getting better at like making my speech a lot more clear and professional sounding. I want to be someone that can talk about cool things and open people's minds, and like I want to make the world a better place through that as well. It's another one of the ways I want to make the world better, because it's fun for me. It's fun for me to do that. Wish we could all trip together. That would be awesome. I do want to try psychedelics sometime. I really do. I think it would benefit me. They're great at dissolving neurological programming. Well, I hope it has a cool effect on me whenever I do try it. I'm trying to look for an opportunity to try it. I have a friend who has access to people who he can get that stuff from. But we're just trying to find an opportunity for us to do it, I guess. But it's, yeah. Because that stuff is illegal in so many parts of the world, it's not easy to obtain. So, that's the challenge. I don't necessarily want to get involved with, like, dealers and stuff. But yeah. And when I left, I basically realized I don't need most of those people in my life, and eventually VTubers filled that hole in my social life. Yeah, a lot of the time, you benefit more from leaving people who are bad for you. You might think that your life will be worse, but a lot of the time, your life is better when you leave that behind. And you don't realize that at the time, but then you realize it afterward. Because then you're like, okay, I feel a lot happier, I feel more free. I feel like I can actually be myself. Stay true to myself. Yeah, my day one childhood friend group ended up being pretty close-minded about things, and I cut ties with them because they were becoming genuinely harmful and bad people. Yeah. Sometimes you do just need to cut ties. It's easy to buy off the internet? Really? I would want to know more about that, because I don't really know my way around that stuff. I have to rely on other people to get stuff like that for me. The only drug I've tried is weed. It doesn't really... I'm not super into it. I can't seem to get a good high out of it. It's always like a negative high. I don't know what it is about my body, it just never feels good for me. It just feels weird. Uncomfortable. I'm hoping that shrooms and stuff are different. Like psychedelics. Because maybe they won't be. Maybe it'll just be bad. But... yeah, it does take courage to separate yourself from bad people. But it's good when you can do that. Well... we've had some fun conversations, but... I'd probably be repeating myself if I kept talking, so... yeah. It's been very fun. This has been a really awesome stream. Let me just check to make sure no one's added anything to the... nope, no one's added any extra answers to the question. yeah, this has been a really good stream. It's one of my better streams recently. I feel like my past couple streams haven't been as good. This one is pretty damn good, so we're bringing it back. Problem with markets is that they have everything and it can be cheap as fuck in some countries. Well. Yeah, well, I guess that's everything. Thank you all very much for being here. This has been a very fun stream. And it's given me hope. Not just for humanity, but for my own life. And I hope that as I move forward into the future, I will keep being able to have cool streams like this. So thank you for accompanying me on this VTubing journey. I very much appreciate it. And I look forward to doing many more cool things with all of you. And expanding our community. Streams have been amazing. I'll probably check the VOD later. Hopefully I see you all next time. Yeah, I definitely appreciate you if you do watch the VOD. Because maybe I'm just an attention whore, but like I just like it when people watch me, even if I don't get any traction from it or any like benefit to the channel. You know, I like people hearing my voice and hearing my ideas, taking it in. But yes, thank you all for being here. It's been great. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next stream. You guys have a very good day and a very good week. Do you have any VOD watchers? I think I might. I'm not 100% sure, because they don't always comment, so... yeah. But yeah. I will see you guys in the next stream. Have a good week. Bye-bye.